Under the historic shadow of Lackland Air Force Base, we welcome you to San Antonio, Texas, to the Boeing Center for the 2026 Forge Trials presented by the Army National Guard. My name's Llama77, and I'm joined by my astute co-commentator here today. That is Bear Light. Bear Light, how you doing? And what can you tell me about this weekend?
This excitement that comes through me is absolutely resonating through this incredible center that we have here in San Antonio. I'm happy to be here. The travel was nice. Everybody getting set up in the background too for what's going to be a fantastic weekend. 4 days of Scholastic Esports Championships and champions to be crowned here. Obviously, we start with Valorant, but we got plenty more on the docket as well, Llama.
Yeah, 2 game titles here today, but upwards of 4 different conferences and upwards of 40 different teams. So you literally could not ask for anything better. So we get to start things off with some Valorant, some group stages here. Tell me a little bit about this matchup.
That's right. So we go to Group B as we're kicking off. Again, this will be Division 1, determining the Nationals. So we got Northwood in this group, but they're going to have that bye round first to kick us off, Llama. So we'll have UC San Diego, their gold team, going to be facing off with UNCW. The Seahawks have made their way from my neck of the woods in North Carolina. Excited to have them out here in Texas as well to make the trip. I know them extremely well, and to see them participate at such a high level here at the NECC is something I'm excited about.
And with it only being 3 teams in each group here for the Valorant round-robin stage, this is almost an elimination matchup for these two. If you lose, you basically have to beat Northwood in your secondary matchup. And that's, I don't think, pressure that either one of these 2 teams wants.
No, there's no weakness in that Northwood squad, right? It doesn't matter what side you're on. Their attack can be super aggressive, and they don't pay for it because they're so responsible positionally. They're a stellar team, and obviously we'll get to see them a little bit later on in the group stage as well. But let's go ahead and get into the map bans and such here. The map vetoes. Looks like we will be landing on via UNCW Esports. They're going to be defending on Lotus to kick us off here. And we've got Pearl and Split to round us off too. So pretty standard across the board as these maps have been added back in. They've gotten a lot of love, and rightfully so. It's maps that I love to play on as well.
Yeah, you see the untraditional things taken out of the board, the Fracture, we get Breeze taken out a little bit later, but I think Lotus will be really fun to get a taste tester of where this series is going. A 3-site map with a lot of different creative aggression that you can bring.
That's right. I mean, you've got so much distance to travel there defensively, so you have to be on your toes consistently too. Lotus is one of those maps as well where there's certain sections of the map that you absolutely need to own. We talk about rubble in that area. A lobby is certainly something that's going to be fought over very frequently, especially from the UNCW side. One of the things that I want to note is the way that Red Dot's able to lead this team as a freshman coming in, and this team has not been the same since. I mean, they did very well in Division 2, and we talk about fall 2025, but into spring 2026, this is a map they really thrive on. They work well together. That's one of the biggest reasons why, is because they're able to create that space. And from there, they team up so well. So look for that to be a key place in this map here.
Tell me a little bit about what this Pearl map is. You talked about added back in here very recently. How are the strategies developing on this map, and does the newness affect the matchup here for this playoffs?
You know, it's not too terribly different for sure. There's still your points of emphasis. You have the long B site, no doubt about it. And as far as A goes, locked in, it's really tough to kind of break into. So, you know, you'll see a lot of switching back and forth. The operator obviously going to live on that B side for sure. It just seems to be a little bit more. Obviously, you can switch it up from time to time. The mid play could be ever so important as well. Obviously, you have Link in your ability to be able to create one side to another. If you lose that spot, your Cinti's got to go to work, man. Otherwise, if you don't know what's happening on the other side of the map, it is a long way to go through attacker spawn to the other side.
And it'll be interesting. Obviously, best of 3. So got to win 2 maps in total if you want to pick up your first win in the round-robin stage. Again, 2 teams are going to escape through that round-robin stage to our playoff bracket and play through the rest of the weekend. Getting to look at the rosters, you mentioned some of the standouts in Seekers and Red Dot, both standout stars for this UCSD Gold team. But I think a lot of standout stars on both teams.
There really are members on both teams that you can stand out. There's actually Swap there as well. The Red Dot and Seacurse from the UNCW side is a team. Again, those are the two that really get together. But when we talk about UCSD, I mean, they're actually going to be missing a key player here today as well, their captain. So they're having their coach fill in too. Is definitely a point of emphasis. But so that's what I'm kind of eyeballing there. And as a team, when you know this information, if they know this information, you're 100% going to go after it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a weakness that maybe you didn't anticipate coming in. But if you have it in front of you, you just go ahead and take it at the end of the day. You don't want it to just kind of sit around and leave that on the table.
No, you got to take any advantage that you can get through in and throughout this weekend. I always think it's kind of interesting, though, when a coach subs in because they've been watching from the sidelines for the entirety of the regular season, and maybe they bring some things that the rest of the team hasn't seen in some of those strategies that they can execute.
I mean, that high-level knowledge of the game is certainly, something that's going to be able to help you out and lead anyways. Obviously, you hope your captain's going to be doing it, but the next best person, I suppose, is somebody who knows the game extremely well, can play it extremely well, too, and it depends on like exactly where they are currently. Like, is it their mechanics that kind of hold them back? If so, you want to isolate them in 1v1 fights, right? Those are certainly the key points of emphasis. But having that high level knowledge, knowing each individual map and every single player so well, can certainly be integral for these teams as well.
Well, we'll get to see how the two teams are looking for our first matchup of the day to start out our big weekend. We talked about it, though. It's not just Valorant. For our schedule here today, we end off the day with League of Legends, and then we start up the schedule anew tomorrow, where we've got pretty much everything you could ever want.
I'm telling you, from Marvel Rivals is one of my favorites. We got a 1v1 stage down here as well for Smash Ultimate. Like, everything has been considered. I love me some Rivals as well. I'll see Overwatch a little bit later on in the day tomorrow as well. And I know that the championship there on Saturday afternoon is certainly one that you want to check out. We have some of the best teams, hands down, in that competition. So the best of the best from multiple college from across the country is what this is really all about. That's why they call it Forge at the end of the day.
I mean, there are so many conferences here that are competing for their championship titles, and it's not just the opportunities from the higher level education. We've also got high schoolers, middle
That's
schoolers,
right, yeah.
everything in between. So let's hop on into Agent Select, and let's get ready to go for map number 1.
Yeah, let's take a peek here. Red Dot on Omen, you're going to see that a lot anyways, right? That's an obvious one. Brand coming in as the Raze is pretty consistent too. With this Lotus map, it's one that we've seen prior to. Across the way with UCSD, you're seeing a very, a very streamlined type of approach here, in my opinion. So you'll see the Waylay, who maybe caught a little bit of the nerfs, but recently it still has that viability of being able to get you on site after your initiators, obviously, which you see the Fade going to be played by Loki Cal, who's been a part of this roster for a very long time, and back with UCSD Gold here as we go into Lotus.
Here we go. To start things off, it's Valorant, a best of 3, and map number 1 onto a 3-site map. UCSD Gold will start on their attacking side, and UNCW on their defensive. Bearlight, let's get to our pistol.
Absolutely. For UCSD Gold, you've got the Vice, which is very commonly played here too. So you'll see that really work out defensively. But of course, they'll start out with that attack. And right now, we're seeing an A-side look here as the rest of the defense from UNCW will certainly catch those comms a little bit early as well. As Desai is the first one really on the back of site. Wants to be able to create a lot of that space. The plan's going down already. It took them basically no time at all. UCSD already cooking.
They'll go for a 2-for-2 trade on site, but UNCW has lost everyone. Desai finds the triple kill and starts things off for UCSD Gold.
Typically you see that Raze is the ones getting the initial picks, but they were just cleaning up the loose change at the end of the day. Winning those fights with the pistol for UCSD is certainly a point of emphasis at UNCW. They were looking to work on. There's been a lot of times where either they drop the pistol or if they win the pistol the very next round, it's been a little bit iffy. I'd like to see a little bit more consistency, but UCSD Gold, that's how you want to start, especially the attack route here at Lotus. Just take one site by storm, and obviously we'll have the advantage here in this round number 2.
I like that the Seahawks, though, they're not going to overinvest here. They know just a couple sheriffs is enough to do some damage. For the Tritons on the other side, though, they've got an arsenal you could only dream of to try and find this second round. However, they're playing it a little bit patient. They want to see if UNCW goes a little bit aggressive over towards this A side on that defensive outside push.
Yeah, again, defensively staying patiently, so you want to play that default. and you have the weaponry advantage, so you shouldn't be as timid, but they want to make the right choice so that way they could really target one. And I think they did make that choice here, as they didn't even necessarily need to take Rebel because they have the long-range weaponry as well. You see them go mounds here, and obviously KJ, hasn't seen a whole lot of love recently, but on the C side, if you want anybody here, it would be them.
I mean, you could play that two kind of site split there where you put your turnover towards B and cover C all yourself. But here comes the execute. 1v5. It's a lot, especially just with a classic in hand. They're going to dive on in with those race speeds, and it's Melvin for the headshot. It's a 5v4 post plant.
Yeah, and you see them all coming here from defender spawn as well. So they're not even going to have very much of a variety of look. So they're going to need to be able to execute. Now, you've got 4 down, but look, as they are just falling one after another. UCSD was able to read it, and it's the Rays getting up close and personal with the blast pack first and foremost, picking up the 3-piece as well to make it 2-0.
Back-to-back triple kills for Evil Desai as the Tritons find their second back-to-back round here. It's going to be interesting, though, as we head here in round number 3, because as we talked about for the Seahawks, they didn't overinvest in that round number 2. They've got rifles ready to go.
Yeah, they certainly do. Desai has been huge early as well. Been a good addition to this team over the past little bit. I mean, they've been in and out as schedules align, so to have this 2-0 lead now looking for the bonus as well. It's certainly going to be a little bit of a tougher ask here, especially in the third round here, as UNCW will have rifles. The Seahawks will have to hold off the C side again, because that is going to be the inevitable push. I mean, there is nobody else even across. That'll allow UNCW here, though, at the end of the day, to be able to take mid and be able to approach from different viewpoints, which is something that was missing last round. Regardless, it'll be UCSD to plant again. They have no hesitation attitude to get that spike planted.
That was through thorns and a swarm grenade that they were able to send it. And now they've got the 5v4. Double tap shield from Bork is no good as Melvin deletes his dome. It's UCSD who's fallen on the doorsteps as Red Dot finds 3. And it's the Seahawks finding their first round.
First time we're seeing Red Dot with the rifle, and there's no mistake about it. They went right after it, ready to go. Dark cover, paranoia, combination on the backside made it pretty easy for them to be able to occupy space and be able to get back on for the retake as well. So that's something that you see San Diego here early. That gold team was able to get the pistol win and the second one as well with the weaponry. But as things change, as we see this full buy, things are certainly going to get interesting, and the Seahawks are looking to ride that momentum here in this next round.
Gotta ask you as well, how many rounds do you think you're looking for if you're on this attacking side?
Yeah, especially when we look at this lineup, right, where we have the Clove, where you get some value after, so they can be a little bit more aggressive here. But at the end of the day, the Vice a little bit more defensive too. So really, it's tough on the attack side. You gotta have at least 5. You want 6 rounds at the very minimum to give yourself a shot. But obviously, the more the better. And winning that pistol, certainly getting those first 2 off to a grand start.
And for UC San Diego, once again, the aggression continues. They'll take full control of this seaside and cut off the vision lines from Waterfall, even sending a Prowler out towards spawn to make sure they can get even more space. Oh, pulls out the pistol at the wrong time. Red Dot makes some pay. How about 2? Doesn't make it a third.
Oh, but it was great positioning, though, right? You play a little bit farther back than usual. That was exactly where you wanted to go. Prowler's going to try to get him on site, but low-key was ready for it. The Cow, though, going to drop his ISO with that shielded just enough, but Bork able to answer the calling here, and that'll be 2 in a row here for the Seahawks as they're able to easily defuse yet again. 2 left alive after this round's all said and done.
A lot of heroics from the spawn side to get that double kill, but also really good planning on that backside retake. Unfazed by them going super quick, and it is the Seahawks who have gone back-to-back defuses as well. They're right back in this first map.
Yeah, they're going to force this UC San Diego Gold squad to really reconsider their buy here. And now, obviously, Desai is one of those players that got off to the early start here. Going to be looking for the Bucky routes here. Shotgun's actually got a nerf recently here in the game of Valorant, which makes this an interesting choice. Got to be able to hit your shots. A massive headshot would go a long way, but it has been a full focus effort towards this C site. As you see, San Diego Gold is basically just one track, and it's to kind of keep with it, maybe trying to catch UNCW by surprise.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess, to get yourself on side. Desai caught with the shotgun as Crane puts him down. It's a 1-for-1 as Cal finds the extra. And you see San Diego slowly encroaching their way forward. That double tap shield is going to expire, but the kill contract will not. They go into the Thunderdome, 3v3, and the shield doesn't shatter. Bork fights the kill, and the Tritons hold an advantage on the space, but not the player count. They have to find the kills now, and Cal will, but Bork will get the trade. And with the upper side position, the Seahawks need to find a chance to defuse, and they will. Bork with a 3K clutch.
Yeah, and that was huge, being able to get the kill contract with shield still up. That is very unfair advantage to be able to bring it back down. And when you have numbers, you have to play that way as well. You're already on site. You already have that confidence rolling in. Be able to pick them off one by one. Know which player you're going after and be able to target those with crossfires. Be able to swing the right time to get those trades. UNCW is perfect in that aspect. And for that reason, able to jump out to this 3-2 lead. And as we see the buys back, even remember, that was a save round at the end of the day, or at least a half buy type of situation. Not a full buy from UCSD Gold. So certainly they'll be looking for some revenge here in round number 6.
Give it a sigh. 6 kills in the first 2 rounds, only 1 kill since. The Tritons trying to find that confidence once again as they try and flex their way back over towards the Palace side. They're just going to send out ISO, though, to gather some sort of information. But it seems that the Seahawks have done a really good job of just playing patient once again. They know they have this Killjoy setup that they can rely on.
That's exactly right. And we talked about how important Rubble is, and they have 3 in there. And it's been that for multiple rounds, too. And now you're catching UCSD with a situation where in their brains, they want to make a change in some fashion, especially when UNCW was able to go 3 rounds in a row. So that being said, when you lost that control early, going to make it difficult. There's a Prowler that's going to go Rubble, but it'll be very difficult to try to manage. Melvin did a good job to kick it off, but now the secret is away.
Desai finds their headshot, finds a second there with a scoped rifle, and with Melvin delivering, it puts the Tritons in an up scenario. Crane lights him up, knocks him down, but Cal gets the kill, and it's all tied up at 3.
Great late-term ability to keep the haunt there for that reason, be able to locate them, and that was a huge reason why they were able to get right back and get that round secured here. Making it 3 apiece, being able to equalize, very important, especially with the momentum, the way it was swinging. And even when they lost Rubble control, they were still able to manage just a little bit of space. Melvin kicked it off with a great job to get vertical, right? I don't think that's anything that UNCW was expecting. And for that reason, you see San Diego Gold now in a better position, at least able to full buy, although granted, not very comfortable, but you can say that for both sides.
The economy on the brink of disaster after how many deaths fell in that last one. But again, the speed is coming out from the Tritons as they want to assault towards C. 2 players here. You've got the paranoia to go out, and Crane's actually found the first on to design. That's a lot of movement out of the kit here, and they are now trapped in that front side of sight. Can they break through the barrier is going to be the question. 2 ultimates left to go, and a lockdown to push the Nightfall away.
That's perfect. Right before they can even plant the spike. So now they have to completely reconsider. They're going to try to plant it anyways, it looks like, from this view. But they have a little bit of sliver. The lockdown wasn't exactly in the perfect spot. It was to hide it. But as far as to lock them down, no players detained. And now they've still got a decent spot. But Brand will kick off this early exchange, withdrawing first blood, but they couldn't quite target them too. Now you've got Brand in a great spot to look down, but low-key was able to kick that out as well. And Crane not able to find it either. Great job to stay within his cow at 3-piece to give UCSD Gold the lead back.
Low-key Cal, a high-key clutch there with the 3K, and the Tritons put themselves on the first lead that they've had since round number 2. It's all economy breakage as well for UNCW. Brand's going to invest a little bit more, but they've got 2 of these ultimates, and I'm excited to see how Seekers uses this Nightfall.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's going to be held for sure, playing a little bit less aggressively. You want to play conservatively, hold that in, so that way when it seems inevitable too, with how UCSD and the Tritons, the Golden Tritons, have been being able to get the plant down very early in these rounds too. But look at Rubble control completely shifted here, and there you got your first pick right off the bat. Mind you, it was traded directly out, but Crane's going back and forth with them too, so it'll be a 3v3 even situation here, but now they break through. That's one kill is all you needed. Now you're on site for A, but Red Dot lurking here on the backside of site.
Red Dot could have found at least one kill there, could have made it a lot easier. And for Bork, didn't decide to actually rotate back through spawn to pick up one of those dropped rifles, so would just be working off the Sheriff. Has the kill contract, but it's a 3K from Melvin. And it's the Golden Tritons that go up too.
A couple of things here. Number one, you take that round, and now you're up to being able to capture the next 2 rounds specifically. Now you've got 4 ultimates on the board as well. It will be the same for UNCW. About to get a little bit crazy here, Llama, but I'm all for it here. We'll see who can utilize them the best. Obviously, the combinations come in handy, no doubt about it. And if you talk about the way that UNCW has been taking Rebel control with 3 apiece, UCSD, you're going after that Steel Garden to take away their primary weapons all around, then it should be an easy job, just 1 ultimate there and done. That's what I would start out with.
But it is 8 ultimates available across the field here. Bork's going to start things off with that double tap shield as they regain the top of mound control. And once again, the Tritons playing a little bit patient as the undercut will go wide and dissuade them from re-entering towards the mound side. They say the Tritons have a 750-pound Iron Triton in their administration office, but it feels like there's 750 pounds of pressure on this Rebel control.
Feeling the weight of it now, and you've got one individual. It's going to be Brand, who's typically your operator, but they just haven't had enough to be able to comfortably buy, especially when you're getting 3 different looks as they swing that. Perfectly done to be able to capture that space again by UCSD Gold. And now they're going to try to trick them, but look at Seekers, his perfect spot here on the flank, but had trouble trying to locate and target one, and only got 1 for it.
Still does delay the time. 40 seconds left to go. And with all of this Killjoy utility still alive here in sight, there is so much left to clear. The question is for the Tritons, how much do they invest? It looks like they're going to go for the showstopper. Nobody clears. Nobody checks the corner. Look left, for God's sakes. Red Dot finds the double.
There is something about this man where wherever he's posted up, nobody is able to look for it. I think he can get into the minds of his opponents, and he does so in such, it feels like an obvious location, but he is able to manage to play exactly where it's least expected. And obviously with Omen, that goes without saying. The TP puts you in a spot where you can be located less. You got to be able to check it. That was in my pregame notes as well. UCSD Gold is one of those teams that get a little bit primary focus, a little bit forward thinking, not able to check their spots, which seems a little bit obvious until you're in the heat of the moment here at LAN for the Forge Scholastic Esports Championships.
It's those small moments that often decide a series here. 1-for-1 trade over by Rebel as an overextension from spawn side will catch the Rays off guard. Melvin once more. Brand gonna find the kill on him. Without that ISO shield, they don't have a lot of frontward cover. Brand finds the double, jumps out for the triple, and dipping and dodging while Bork does their janitorial work.
This is just UCSD again being caught in a situation where they weren't quite decisive, and UNCW was. And they were able to get to their marks exactly when they wanted to, early. Able to find it too. I mean, it's just a simple clear. It's been since 2020 where you see Reyes just Boombot able to get them thinking in a separate way to be able to back out a little bit too. And with Brand, the way that they play, the blast packs obviously end. They're in the door. Tough to track that as an opponent. And UCSD kind of caught with between a rock and a hard place here. Speaking of hard, that buy is going to be tough for sure. They're going to bring in mostly Stingers into a 5v5 situation here in round 11.
Prowler will catch him this time. Red Dot not able to travel backwards, so it's a 1-for-1. Low-key Cow with a double kill on the entry to this B side, but it's a hard site to take. Even with that Steel Garden active, it's going to delay the push even further on that backside cut. Bork all of a sudden is down to that double tap shield, gets the kill contract, and will pull Tran in. Won't get the kill. It's an SMG take back, and all of a sudden the sight of C is gone, or so we thought. Crane finds the Solo, and now Solo holds this site.
And that's a tough look too, because you had your spike holder in first, and now it's just laying on the ground. Now, that being said, and Crane not going to be facing that 1v3 and be able to walk away with it. So they are able to take it back at the very minimum. And you've got Fade in the right spot, ready to go. And Crane, too, was just chased out by the dark cover. Great coverage as well from from UCSD Gold. Brand's going to try to sneak their way in, but you got 3 swingers and no opportunity here to Low-Key Cal easily being able to clean up the loose change, as it were. We've been trading back and forth as far as leads go, but UCSD Gold now going to be able to jump up to the 6-5 lead with the last round before the half.
And that's an incredible bounce back, too, after what the Seahawks were able to do in that last round and find some explosiveness of their own right. We've only got one ultimate available on either side. Like you said, almost dead even here at halftime. But for the Tritons, another round would be exactly to the game plan that they would love to go by.
And with N Crane on the Killjoy as well, very, very much defensive-minded agent. And yes, UNCW has been struggling to be able to find rounds. We thought that they were going to be out to at least a 7-4 advantage here in this moment, but you see they finally break through. It's a 1-2-3 back-to-back as Bork with a couple of his own early, and now this is pinned in again as UCSD Gold. They do get a couple there before Seacrest is going to swing in. Paranoia to chase them out as well, and Red Dot will do the rest. We'll be dead even heading into the second half.
All tied up here in map number 1 in the round-robin group stages of day number 1. We go back to the pistol on the other side, and like you said, I'm honestly intrigued how the Seahawks are going to pilot this composition because, yes, you do have the ISO, you do have the raise. That will provide for some of the speed of this composition. The problem is the follow-up. Do you have enough to get the Killjoy onto site, to get the extra bit of utility to hold off that retake? And then the follow-up is, do you have the clutch moments in you?
For both of these teams, it's something that they have built inside each and every single one of these players to be here in live. Is something that does not bother them at all. They got a lot of experience here too. I watched UNCW go up against Winthrop at a live event in North Carolina. They did a really solid job, able to take plenty of rounds over what is considered the best team, or one of the best teams, top 3 in all of collegiate Valorant. They'll walk away with a lot of value there too. UNCW built for these moments, but right now, like we mentioned, UC San Diego, it's come from California, has been really being able to mitigate well. As UNCW now with the default here in the pistol, as they wanted to take mounds, they were able to manage that. They also have Rubble too, so they worked their way forward, but of course, it's a little bit tougher whenever you get to late round here.
It's also going to be super tough all half long here to push this seaside, man. That sheer wall is a tough one to try and push, especially as a speedy team. And if you get split up, that could mean the doom. They're going to drop one of the dark covers to cut off that extra angle getting into A. And look at this. They get out the sheer wall. They don't care. They just send 2 players. They find the kill. They've got control of seaside.
Only on the pistol round are you able to pull that out, especially with 2 members of their team, but they managed it. They were brave enough to be able to challenge into it, and they love it too. You see that exchange. Bork hits the shield instead of the body there. And now with Melvin, took a minute to be able to get that ghost to work the way he wanted to, but eventually does break through with that pick. And now got yourself back on site here for the retake and looking for more, but Red Dot insecure again. Find that soft spot that you don't anticipate, and In Crane was just kind of working off those 2 as they combine for a couple. Seekers will get the rest here, as now it will be UNCW Esports with their first pistol win of the series.
They don't call them UNCL, they call them UNCW, and that's what they do on their pistol round. They're able to trade, though. 50-50 direct split down the middle, on pistol round so far here in map number 1 for UC San Diego. The guns aren't there. They're going to have to go back to the pistols here and see what they can do to try and get a thrifty.
You look for Desai, again, had that hot start. It was at that 7-1 mark. Now is not as much, 13-10. Has certainly slid a little bit. You want to be able to ride off a hot hand for sure, but just the patience and discipline that we've seen from the Seahawks will be showcasing itself again here off the default, as they will have massive advantage from the weaponry. And this is when you want to see them get a little bit aggressive, try to flank because they know that they have pistols, force the issue a little bit as they were. And that's going to be the thought process at the very least. You got Seekers out here. And now the rest go Rubble towards C, but they got a 4-stack here. UC San Diego is ready for this. 2 paint shells will force the issue, and then Crane on site.
This is dangerous. Your spike isn't there, and Desai's gonna find the headshot off the Sheriff. Do they have the aggression to follow it up, or do they just want to give this space? Desai with the continued damage. Melvin will fall on a long-range headshot through that barricade, and we're all on 4. For the Tritons, though, they've got to be very cautious about how far they overextend, but they're happy to delay this time.
Exactly. You're down to 33 seconds left, and now you're second-guessing yourself here at this point in time for UNCW. Make them really think about this before they hit in. And what do they really have to get them on site either, too? Be a little bit more difficult than they were in store for. Good flash will get them to turn the corner, get 2, almost got the 3rd, but Brand was able to at least silence him, but not before the damage is done. Still got to hurry here with 12 seconds left. This Spike in a difficult spot here. They've got Red Dot ready to try to attack onto it, but Pog will look to challenge into it as well, but they do fall. Red Dot should get the plant off too, just keeping them busy in the meantime. A bit of a sacrifice. They eventually get it planted, but they're already on site, ready to go in a 2v1, and a grand chance here for Red Dot to try to pull out the clutch. And he now locates one as well, but took the shots. Now he's going to be located. Difficult situation. Turns the corner. Couldn't quite get it, though. It'll be low-key Cow able to swing with the Sheriff, and a great thrifty round here for UCSD.
A lot of this round's credit has to go to Tran. From downtown, like Tom Brady, launches a paranoia that catches all 4 on the site entry. They're all blind. They get the extra blind after, and that's how you do a thrifty.
Hey, listen, absolutely. Got to be able to recognize those little things. They matter so much about being able to upgrade your weaponry as well in that moment and get on the site the way that they do. And we can't say enough about low-key Cow and how they stepped up as well. They're never known to really be thriving as far as the KD column is concerned, and yet they're able to put their team on their back and keep them relevant here as UNCW and the Seahawks look to continue the same little bit of, conservative approach here, but this time they're marching a little bit further up to B, but it's going to be right in the dark cover will make it difficult for them to get on site.
It's kind of an interesting split of resources. 2-1-2 actually for this attacking side as they try and invest over towards the door side against so much of this Vi's utility covering them off from C. How do they get the entry? They don't. They just want that sheer wall out of the pockets. Then they're going to reorient themselves. Tran once again under a ton of pressure, forced back on 13 HP.
It's perfect. You got your Killjoy being able to cover from anybody who would swing around C, but the issue is they're going to just go through B instead. Here's the defender. So UCSD has read this extremely well. However, UNCW puts themselves in a prime real estate and spot by being able to get onto the site pretty early. Plus, Red Dot, it looked like he got up top there, haven't, but wasn't able to manage. He's going to be playing in the dark cover below and see if he can't catch somebody on the way down as they swing down too. But Seekers is the one to find a little bit, and while they're distracted, Red Dot, that's exactly the combination I talked about earlier before this fork as well. Going to try to get on the action, but low-key, and Deze plus the rest, low-key Cow, good for 3. And so is UCSD Gold. They're good for their 8th round here in map 1.
They just generated 4 alt orbs for their fade alone there in that round, and specifically the clutches have been phenomenal. I love the patience that we're seeing from this team in a composition that isn't built super well to just wait and re-engage. You want to use all of that Vi's utility to hold them out of the site, but they've trusted each other. Desai already on that showstopper here in round 4 of this half, and low-key Cow, we said it, not only leading the team, grazing above them all, but is just one ultimate orb away from unlocking that Nightfall.
And there's few teams that can actually manage to break through the coordination that we see from Red Dot and Seekers, because in UCW, they played it extremely well. You let your guard down for a second. UCSD was able to swing it and use their aggressive push against them in that instance. You see the rubble control already taken over yet again. UNCW and the Seahawks now will place dark cover to heaven. And wonder if they know they've got Tran right on site. He's going to be pulled in the kill contract, though, so that will take them off the board. However, now you see that allows the rest of the team to kind of rotate in as that spike's being planted. Down they go after being able to secure that so quickly. They drop one after another. Red Dot gets a couple in a row and now gives their team a chance here. And they will have the advantage because the spike's down, but Red Dot's extremely low. Melvin's going to try to defuse a little bit, or at least fake it to get them to bite, but Red Dot stays patient. That's a 3-piece here. Still going to be low in this 1v1 battle, but we've seen him clutch up before, and now just has to play time.
Oh, red dot, just play the patience, 24 health left to go, and Pog's got the kill, got the defuse, and the round to boot for the Tritons.
UNCW, I mean, they've been one step away from greatness in these rounds. Credit UC San Diego Gold for being able to hold into these rounds, play late, stay focused, and be able to create that value on the late end of these rounds. Because taking a one-on-one against Red Dot is very difficult to do. Not only that, but you have such an emotional player in Red Dot, where if you're able to win that 1v1 battle, get into his head a little bit, that's going to play wonders here for the Tritons.
Well, as well, you also talk about the economy, and right now it is all down to Shambles Town. 4 Sheriffs and an SMG here for the Seahawks team. They've got 2 ultimates, and I think the Nightfall versus Nightfall is actually quite interesting to see who steps first. A little game of chicken to see who wants to go first on it, but this is a fast attack.
Playing a game of chicken, but you know he's going to win that is the Seahawks. They're always and on the spot, but they've got the glove on the other side too, which is really going to play into their favor at the end of the day as well. But this is going to be the one to look to kick into it, but you see that control from Melvin, comfortable being able to just play inside tunnel. They didn't see them at first, but located them, and Bork got an important long-range share of kill. Now bring things even. Nightfall each way. Got from the shadows as well from UNCW if they decide Red Dot doesn't like this look, potentially swing it around, but they got a full commit basically here at this point in time. As one more falls here for UNCW, down to just Bork as they look to execute. But that's going to be a long way, especially against 3 members of the Tritons.
Bork has got to do it all just with a Sheriff here, and 85 HP, no shield to back him up. But maybe, nope. No, maybe. Low-key Cow finds the triple kill. And with Bork dying, that'll put UCSD up to double digits.
And oh man, already to 10 already. Yeah, they've been fantastic. Low-key Cow has been low-key great. Not high-key great, you know, honestly. 22 here in this one. Plus, I'll say as well, I mean, with 21 of their own, they've been certainly better in that aspect. And those are the little things that we talk about. Now, you've got 3 ultimates online. From the shadows that you carried from the other side of the last round, Nightfall, and you'll have the Showstopper as well. So a couple of very important aspects you can use together to get yourself on site. And for UNCW, that seems to be a little bit of an issue. They've only planted the spike twice here on the attack, so that's certainly a point of emphasis they bring into this round.
And it is just so tough. I mean, we talked about what they were able to do in the pistol is so impossible to replicate. Here they go. Showstopper right to the back of sight. Will go wide on Pog, still catching Brand on the offhand. It's going to be Red Hot who goes for the plan as it's the death coming through from the Rays. The sight take is there with the Nightmares over the top. And for UCSD Gold, they have survived everybody somehow on this side entry. They get the plant down. The re-engage with the Nightfall. And they get the trails for the information. But do they have the kills? They've got 4 to take down. Red Dot trying to burn them down. But the house is doused with gasoline. Bork finds the double. But it's all down to a Killjoy 1v1. Crane for the clutch!
Well played to get on site number 1 and then be able to hold them up, because that was almost ideal as the Tritons were able to get the retake opportunity, at least get on site with that Fade Eye and the Haunts first in disease, just to make sure they know exactly who they were able to trap into their sights. And yet still, Crane stood strong, stood their ground, in the right place here at C, was able to hold off and be able to inch their way back. They're still within 2 rounds. I get it. Their attack side, as far as their agents are concerned, maybe not the best, but they're going to try to ride this momentum. And finally, more importantly, their eco out of eco health.
And some rifles back to either side, but this is a very pivotal round, especially for the Tritons if they want to keep going on this defensive round winning. They've got no ultimates, though, to back up this round. They spent everything to try and win it, and Brand is going to go down first. Kill Contract will yoink out the ISO into a 1v1 fight as the isolated 2v2 take, but it's Melvin who actually dies in the backside of it. So losing the ultimate on the other side, the duel is there from Crane. They've got control of spawn side somehow.
Yeah, not to mention the full control of A if they need it. In fact, actually, one fell with Seekers, and not who you want to lose here. But luckily, that's the importance of the Senti. Here, Crane was able to make sure that A, nobody there, checked every single corner as well. UCSD Gold now basically gave up A for free. Now, that being said, you still got the 3-on-3 retake, so not all is lost, especially when you have the, capabilities of being able to clove on early.
Well, Red Dot just finding that first blood after the post plant is huge. It brings it back to a 3v2. The Tritons have unlocked that showstopper, but they're in a really awkward spot to try and retake this. So many angles to clear. They've got one Arc Rose and a Dream. You never forget about the Dream because sometimes it can turn into a nightmare. Undercut will connect onto Desai as they try and continue to look for the push. This is just a save.
Yeah, and very smart decision to be made there. You knew that Red Dot was there, so you had the advantage when we talk about positionally. But as far as the situation is concerned, you have to have that bit of awareness to be able to pull that down. You'll keep the rifle in hand here as well, unless they challenge into it. Plus, you take one out of the hands of Crane. So not only is it the right decision, but you gain a little bit of value at the very end of that as well. And you're still in the lead at the end of the day with this 10-9 situation.
You get the kill contract out of the pockets. You calm things down here after going 4 rounds straight. It's 2 rounds straight the other way. Fairlight, it's like these two teams have just been glued together for the entire map one.
I mean, they've been, there's no ground given right here at this point in time. You've made it to this point, and you're going to take advantage of it. And we figured that this would be the case. Yes, sure enough, UCSD, they might have to go in with the coach. Does that really matter here? Because we talked about how much value they can get just knowing the map, knowing their players in and out. And sure enough, that's been able to give us a grand value as it stands right now here. Heading into this next round as UNCW looks to draw even, try to find the equalizers. They've got a couple dark covers that'll make it difficult. The Prowler only going to clear the front side of A, so they're still going to hesitate to really make a decision here, and I don't blame them.
A lot of players committed over towards this A side, though, and that defense is stacked up to the 4 count. They're going to go for a retakeable position over towards B, but it is going to be the Seahawks who get first touch of this one, and Brand finds the outlaw kill. How about a double burger meal with cheese?
I talk about Brand and their availability to work with the operator. They're so strong in that regard. The outlaw, just 1-2 punch is enough to give yourself prime advantage, especially when you're here as well. But the paint shells will actually land one. Man, oh man, they've been doing a great job on Red Dot with the 3K. 1-2-3 with a quick answer. And UCSD find themselves in a tied situation when they had a lead just a little bit ago.
All double digits here for these two teams after a 3-round streak from UNCW. And they've still got the lockdown. They've got to battle into these 3 ultimates on the other side. But Pog is down to just a sheriff in terms of the economy. Now, don't get me wrong. The economy's not great on the other side. The rounds haven't been as clean as they've wanted them to be. So it's going to be exciting who can get to 13 first.
The way it's going, the Seahawks are certainly making their case to me, personally. It's something the Tritons to really be able to answer back, prove me wrong as well. They need that little bit of energy. Talked about that with Red Dot. They have certainly done the same here too, but now Mounds will be taken by UNCW. Told to open up that spot too, but you see the spike slowly making its way towards B as well. They clearly liked something that they saw last round whenever they went there directly. So that might be the play here too, especially when you see that B, but now they're just reconsidering here. They just have so much space on C, and B is just an open book as far as where UCSD could come in retake. So they're going to look towards C. Obviously, they're fighting a lot of that Vice abilities. Same with the Rays as well. I'm not sure they know they're there, but Blastbach will get them on site, and Brand will look to kick it off, but can't track them down.
Showstopper goes into Narnia here, and Red Dot and Bort combine for a double on the entry. It's down to just 2. 1 from the water side. Can Tran hold this off? It doesn't look like they have the vision to get it done. And with the smoke falling as well, there's not too much cover to watch on top of. This may just have to be a save with that undercut flying on through. UNCW just has full control, and if Melvin can't get anything, Melvin does though, finds the headshot through the backside barricade. Double tap shield active, but can't get the full value, and Seeker sends it with a double.
It almost felt like dire at this moment. It's not typically one that you want to fight into in a 2v4 situation, even given, the abilities that they had remaining on the table. So you don't typically go for that. But let me tell you what, whenever the Seahawks are winning round after round, you want to be able to kill their momentum where it stands, especially when you know that their eco could be hurting, or at least extremely close to being able to hurt. You take those risks and you trust in your team, knowing that you've executed these type of situations in the past. It didn't work out this time, but I feel like it was almost dire here at this point in time as they watched not only their lead dissipate, but now they've surrendered it here into round number 22.
This is such a pivotal round here for UNCW. You can find yourself guaranteed overtime, guaranteed 12. But the Tritons immediately out. Prowler for Prowler will eat alive the shield, and Seekers is going to try and face check this one. They've got the extra Prowl on the backside, everything going. Sheer Wall decimates them. They were chopped in half, and it's all down to a 2-on-1. The Steel Garden will breed some iron elements, and Melvin brings it to a 1v1 that they win.
Such a big moment for him, too. Be able to trade, stay tall. When we talk about the B side, but communication had to be quick in order to have them collapse the way that they did to even give them that even ground to begin with. Plus, the ISO in that moment, perfect time to use it. Sometimes you would see, the ISO just hold on to that for another round, but instead, why not get value here and now, especially when you have to stop a moving train that UNCW has been the last couple of rounds.
And it's basically a guarantee, right? Even if you lose, you know where they're coming out of that ultimate.
That's right.
And should be able to finish off that round. 22 rounds of gameplay, all deadlocked here at 11. For the Tritons, they're going to go fast. They've got their own kill contract. From the shadows to teleport to the backside. It's a quick rotation from Fran to find the second kill of the round. And with taking down the ISO as well, there's only one ultimate left to go, and it's just a from the shadows. Forward from Borg, finds the double.
Yeah, there's not many times where you see the blast back used on the defensive side with precision, but the attack this time, able to jump into it as well. Borg, the 3-piece now, left to just one, and they'll chase them down. More than likely, Borg has gotten Seekers on the other side, being able to get that one secured. And UNCW up to map point as they are looking to hold off UCSD Gold, though. Man, oh man, this has been a close one, a perfect way to kick off the NECC Division I Nationals.
To start our championships, man, already 13 is what we're looking for, but nobody has gotten to it yet. The bye is completely shattered from the UCSD side. They're going to have to find some heroics from the 2 rifles and the Nightfall that they've got in their back pocket.
And they have their sights set on A as well as the direction they want to go. They've gotten Rubble as well. We talked about their importance, plus the hold down that we're seeing at B. As they've gotten that support, they're going to go Tree. And Brand is going to stick away from it. So you did sneak in the back door just in time. But they actually dropped this spike here. As it looked like, it was Tran from that position just through tunnels that swung by the short side. They went unmarked there. And that allows the spike to get planted. Yes, but now you've got a 3v5 situation. A very ideal retake situation here for UCSD Bold.
They'll start with the Nightfall. They'll get a kill on Melvin, and only 2 players stand between them and overtime, and one of them's Crane. Melvin still has the shield to work off of, but it's going to be a 1-for-1. Needs to figure it out. It's Seekers who finds the double, but not enough. We are going to overtime.
Yeah, well played to just keep themselves relevant in each and every single one of these rounds when it really could have gotten out of hand. The Seahawks have been here to be able to keep themselves in a situation to be able to march it to the spot to begin with. They gave themselves prime opportunity. We got through the first half. It was 6-6, now into overtime as well. Both of these teams have had their long shots of positive energy, and then also the ebb and flow has showcased themselves in a negative way too. But both of these teams now going with a fresh slate at this point in time. You just got to get the job done, especially when we talk about the attack side here as well, where both teams have found a lot of opportunities to be able to plant this spike, but need a little bit more value when we talk about being able to hold off the retake at the end of the day. So as overtime kicks off here, we'll see who can really be the difference maker here as these rounds develop.
Two words, Bearlight, just win. At this point, that's all the teams care about. 2 rounds to solidify a map number 1 and start off this best-of-3 series. And especially a tough group stage. The sheer wall's going to cut him off on the backside defensive rotation. And it's a 1-for-1 cut. The overextension from Palace will get caught. And we're just playing flip sides here. It's a free site take, and the plan is going to be faked as they look for the rotation.
Yeah, that's going to be drawing them and kind of holding them put. Hold them still, but they got Bork, who was lurking. And from the rubble side, caught them in their transaction as well. Great anticipation, knowing where the potential to rotate was as well. And Red Dot catches them, just second-guessing themselves in that situation. An exclamation point of a way to start overtime here for the Seahawks.
Really no casualties on that walkout and the ability to play from front to back. You could argue if UNCW had gone for a little bit different hit, it goes out a different way, and especially if UCSD was able to get that plan down on B site, they probably get a little bit more space and coverage, but hindsight is 2020, as they say, and right now UNCW is on map point.
Try to close out here from a position of power, really. We've seen them be most successful whenever they're playing default, playing cautiously, but also being able to occupy space. And in Crane, that's just getting an audio cue going. I want to make sure that UCSD knows that A is certainly a viable option for them to try to fake it that way, because as you can tell on your screen right now, that spike is heading C.
Oh, it is flying over towards C, and this is a good look. You're going to give yourself a lot of power. You've got the takedowns in terms of the smoke covering over towards the waterfall, and look at this extension back towards spawn side. This fight could decide everything. Undercut, going wide. Brant finds the kill, but it's a 2-for-1 in favor of the Tritons. And look at the control they're going to be able to regain. Crane finds the first, but not on their death. It's a trade 1-for-1 on the backside, and Gold have found their namesake. A 2v2 to decide it.
They've got this lineup, multiple areas of sight. Bork is pretty low here in this situation too. Spike planted, they have that advantage. Red Dot was able to win that battle somehow. 1-2 back and forth. It'll be UNCW, the Seahawks will take map 1 at Lotus.
Back-to-back rounds will do it. Only a single overtime will win them map.
When it comes to performance, it's hard to beat a desktop gaming PC, and this year, we're adding a brand new machine to our lineup, the ROG G700. Now, not everyone wants to build their own PC from scratch, but if you're the kind of person that just wants a powerful, reliable machine that will get you up in gaming right away, the G700 is perfect. Pick the configuration that matches your budget and game library, and you'll be on your way. Now, apart from its standout style, there are a few things that set the G700 apart. First and foremost, the G700 uses high-quality ASUS components designed and built by the people who made ROG the best brand in gaming. From the high-performance Intel or AMD processor to the new ROG Astral GeForce RTX 50 series GPU, each combination of parts is thoroughly tested and validated for performance and compatibility with a cooling system that's been optimized for this specific chassis and the components inside. And speaking of compatibility, that's another advantage of the G700. Unlike many pre-built desktops, the G700 uses standard-sized components for everything. so you can easily upgrade parts down the line without worrying about proprietary connectors or unconventional mounting points. This accessibility is perfect whether you're an at-home gamer or outfitting an entire esports team at a local school. And if you hit a snag, there's only one company you need to contact for support. The G700 comes with an extendable 3-year warranty, and our service team can help you with anything you need.
Performance sets the limit. Stability determines the journey. This is ROG, engineered for gamers. A true ROG design. Every core component is focused on real performance. Pure ROG DNA, aura that fuels fearless souls. Built to be pushed, cooled to endure. Air moves with purpose, heat exits with precision. Every rigorous military-grade test ensures stable performance at extreme levels. Global support wherever you play. This is the ROG G-Series gaming desktop.
Welcome back, everybody. The Forge Trials presented by the Army National Guard. Division 1 action for the NECC, and it was a barn burner, to say the least. Llama Bear Light up here in the amazing booth that we got on the second floor of the Boeing Center. Bear Light, what'd you see from that map one?
Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. So first thing I see is this amazing building. But one thing that I did notice is that even when you count UCSD out, you're like, oh, this cool team, they have their coach playing, whatever. And sure, he was at the lower side of the KD. They still stepped up in a large way and were able to answer back the coordination that we saw from UNCW. Despite their bit of a slow start, able to gain things back. They lost the pistol in the second round, still able to manage to get back to overtime. Now, that being said, credit the Seahawks for being able to manage through, be able to hold themselves relevant, and be able to close that map out here as we go into Pearl.
Pearl's our map number 2, much different than map number 1 of Lotus. Obviously only a 2-site map as well. Has a lot of mobility, though, through mid, and we saw some struggles from both teams to actually control through that mid-highway. So I think it'll be really interesting to see how they change, how they go, as it looks like we're getting ready to go into Agent Select for map number 2. Actually, let's look at maps here first.
Yeah, and you talked about Pearl right off the rip, too. Completely different vibe than what we saw from the Seahawks. Obviously, when we talk about Lotus, that 3 site map. However, now that we talk about Pearl coming in, and it was about the red dot combination with Rinkers as well, those two combining for UNCW. Now it's all about brands in my eyes. You have that B site that can be completely overtaken, whether it be Outlaw, whether it be Operator. Either way, it'll be locked down from UNCW from the defensive side, and also get some value from the attack as well. I think we see a lot of that coming in, and so for UCSD, it almost makes it a little bit more difficult, but the fact that they were able to keep map 1 close gives me confidence that going into the Pearl, they have themselves a grand opportunity.
And this is a big one as well, obviously. First to 2 here to win the entire series. And as we talked about in the round-robin stage, this is a really big one with Northwood in your group. Ideally, you want to win this one so you don't have to go and beat them in a best-of-3, not just a best-of-1 with some random shenanigans. But the only thing I'm unbiased for is more maps. So I would love to see a map number 3.
I mean, it'd be fantastic for sure. I mean, these two teams, they obviously put up a show. So the fact that we can continue that on, especially the way to kick off this amazing weekend, I would be all for it for sure. Plus, we got League of Legends coming up after this one, but map 3 obviously would be split. And when we talk about like 3 different maps all together, that's what we have here. I'm looking to push the issue here. Obviously, you got to get through Pro first if you're UCSD Gold, and that's what they have their eyes on currently.
This is a big one. Obviously, you got to win it if you want to stay alive in the series to try and start off this reverse sweep. It does take a lot of effort to try and win 2 maps in a row, especially when you start this one without the momentum from losing that overtime. But as you said, played it very close. They have a couple more cards to play. But again, you don't want to lose here on the first day of LAN.
That's right. I mean, especially when we talk about the circumstances as well in the group stage where it's very cutthroat. It's like you got to be able to get out and make yourself heard. Sure, it's not a best-of-1, so you have multiple opportunities. He kept it close, but yeah, it's do or die time. You're basically treating it that way right now because if you lose this map, you lose all confidence, especially you're like, oh, we couldn't quite manage to get our way through UNCW. How is it going to be any different against Northwood, one of the best teams, if not the best team in the country?
Yeah, they look like they're trying to sweep out their group and make it as that number 1 seed into the championship bracket. Of course, we don't just have this action for Valorant. We've got even more. We already talked about the League of Legends later today, but we've got so many titles. I mean, we've got Rainbow Six Championships happening tomorrow. We've got everything from Marvel Rivals, League of Legends, the Valorant action, our 1v1 Super Smash stage, and on Sunday, Apex Legends, a full David.
You're excited about that, baby. I know you are. You've been talking about it all day, yesterday and today. So I'm excited to see that as well. An environment like this certainly is built for that type of environment too. Plus you have, from my understanding, you have Match Point that they're playing as well. Makes everything just that much more exciting. Llama, I can see in your eyes you're thrilled.
It's been a while since I've been able to call some collegiate Apex, especially Match Point, so I'll be super excited to see. And, we do have to give a shout-out. We haven't yet today, but a shout-out to all of the support staff that are here, joined alongside us at the NECC. I mean, you could see behind us the amazing facility that didn't just get set up overnight. I mean, we've got an amazing crew of about 50 people that were able to set up all of these stages, all of these PCs, and all of the side rooms as well, and they deserve a ton ton of credit for what they've done.
Yeah, our friends at Rally Cry, ECAC is on the site as well. R20 in the house too, by the way. Love some K-12 action to see the future of collegiate develop in front of our eyes and eventually find their way into college. I actually had the pleasure of watching Red Tide, again, the UNCW, as a senior, be able to take it to the next level, find an opportunity within the state that I reside in. And he was such a strong player then, but how far he's grown in the meantime. We get to see that here, live and in person too. Those high schoolers looking to get to the next level, just like Red Dot.
And there are those opportunities, and all of this today is actually powered by League OS and their tournament platform and what we're running all of our tournament brackets off of. League OS also has some amazing tools to set up an account and make sure you get known today. So make sure you're checking out all of them. And of course, our amazing partners over at the Army National Guard. If you want to find your potential, head over there and check them out today.
Yeah, exactly. The Army National Guard, since the trials and being able to keep us entertained with the uncommon traits in addition to everything else. The Forge Trials presented by Army National Guard. Answer the call at nationalguard.com. Again, that's nationalguard.com. Lava.
Go find your talent here today. And for us, we're actually going to go to a little bit of a break as we get our players in lobby for map number 2. Don't go too far. More Forge Trials right after this.
Performance sets the limit. Stability determines the journey. This is ROG, engineered for gamers. A true ROG design. Every core component is focused on real performance. Pure ROG DNA, aura that fuels fearless souls. Built to be pushed, cooled to endure. Air moves with purpose. Heat exits with precision. Every rigorous military-grade test ensures stable performance at extreme levels. Global support wherever you play. This is the ROG G-Series gaming desktop.
When it comes to performance, it's hard to beat a desktop gaming PC, and this year, we're adding a brand new machine to our lineup, the ROG G700. Now, not everyone wants to build their own PC from scratch, but if you're the kind of person that just wants a powerful, reliable machine that will get you up in gaming right away, the G700 is perfect. Pick the configuration that matches your budget and game library, and you'll be on your way. Now, apart from its standout style, there are a few things that set the G700 apart. First and foremost, the G700 uses high-quality ASUS components designed and built by the people who made ROG the best brand in gaming. From the high-performance Intel or AMD processor to the new ROG Astral GeForce RTX 50 series GPU, each combination of parts is thoroughly tested and validated for performance and compatibility with a cooling system that's been optimized for this specific chassis and the components inside. And speaking of compatibility, that's another advantage of the G700. Unlike many pre-built desktops, the G700 uses standard-sized components for everything, so you can easily upgrade parts down the line without worrying about proprietary connectors or unconventional mounting points. This accessibility is perfect whether you're an at-home gamer or outfitting an entire esports team at a local school. And if you hit a snag, there's only one company you need to contact for support. The G700 comes with an extendable 3-year warranty, and our service team can help you with anything you need.
Performance sets the limit. Stability determines the journey. This is ROG, engineered for gamers. A true ROG design. Every core component is focused on real performance. Pure ROG DNA, aura that fuels fearless souls. Built to be pushed, cooled to endure. Air moves with purpose, heat exits with precision. Every rigorous military-grade test ensures stable performance at extreme levels. Global support wherever you play. This is the ROG G-Series gaming desktop.
When it comes to performance, it's hard to beat a desktop gaming PC, and this year, we're adding a brand new machine to our lineup, the ROG G700. Now, not everyone wants to build their own PC from scratch, but if you're the kind of person that just wants a powerful, reliable machine that will get you up in gaming right away, the G700 is perfect. Pick the configuration that matches your budget and game library, and you'll be on your way. Now, apart from its standout style, there are a few things that set the G700 apart. First and foremost, the G700 uses high-quality ASUS components designed and built by the people who made ROG the best brand in gaming. From the high-performance Intel or AMD processor to the new ROG Astral GeForce RTX 50 series GPU, each combination of parts is thoroughly tested and validated for performance and compatibility with a cooling system that's been optimized for this specific chassis and the components inside. And speaking of compatibility, that's another advantage of the G700. Unlike many pre-built desktops, the G700 uses standard-sized components for everything, so you can easily upgrade parts down the line without worrying about proprietary connectors or unconventional mounting points. This accessibility is perfect whether you're an at-home gamer or outfitting an entire esports team at a local school. And if you hit a snag, there's only one company you need to contact for support. The G700 comes with an extendable 3-year warranty, and our service team can help you with anything you need.
Performance sets the limit. Stability determines the journey. This is ROG, engineered for gamers. A true ROG design. Every core component is focused on real performance. Pure ROG DNA, aura that fuels fearless souls. Built to be pushed, cooled to endure. Air moves with purpose, heat exits with precision. Every rigorous military-grade test ensures stable performance at extreme levels. Global support wherever you play. This is the ROG G-Series gaming desktop.
When it comes to performance, it's hard to beat a desktop gaming PC, and this year, we're adding a brand new machine to our lineup, the ROG G700. Now, not everyone wants to build their own PC from scratch, but if you're the kind of person that just wants a powerful, reliable machine that will get you up in gaming right away, the G700 is perfect. Pick the configuration that matches your budget and game library, and you'll be on your way. Now, apart from its standout style, there are a few things that set the G700 apart. First and foremost, the G700 uses high-quality ASUS components designed and built by the people who made ROG the best brand in gaming. From the high-performance Intel or AMD processor to the new ROG Astral GeForce RTX 50 series GPU, each combination of parts is thoroughly tested and validated for performance and compatibility with a cooling system that's been optimized for this specific chassis and the components inside. And speaking of compatibility, that's another advantage of the G700. Unlike many pre-built desktops, the G700 uses standard-sized components for everything, so you can easily upgrade parts down the line without worrying about proprietary connectors or unconventional mounting points. This accessibility is perfect whether you're an at-home gamer or outfitting an entire esports team at a local school. And if you hit a snag, there's only one company you need to contact for support. The G700 comes with an extendable 3-year warranty, and our service team can help you with anything you need.
The Forge Trials by the Army National Guard continue now with our Valorant Showdown of Division 1. Llama 77 Orbital up here in the booth. Orbital, how you feeling after map number 1?
Well, feeling better if you call me Bearlight, but I'm pretty good though, man. I'm excited. You know, map 1 was super fun, as you can imagine. It's the way you want to kick it off, right? You go to overtime and you're wondering, can the same amount of, close nature continue here? And I think it does. And there's a lot of different key reasons as to why that might be the case.
Well, there are some decisive and uncommon traits that we've got to talk about for these two teams. Let's start with UNCW first, because for this team, they had a lot that went right. But at the end of the day, they had a series that went to the distance to overtime.
Yeah, it's 100% accurate, right? You were doing the little things right, and even though you were losing tiny moments, UNCW had the resilience to be able to get it done. So we'll go to those uncommon traits and kind of look them through. As far as UNCW goes, we know that it was all about Red Dot. It was all about his combination in a lot of ways, but there's a lot of other playmakers for UNCW that could make the difference as far as these uncommon traits are concerned.
Well, I think the biggest thing, too, is not only get Red Dot going, but getting the rest of the team kind of going together to make sure that they can fight their way through these different teamwork scenarios. And I think at the end of the day, if they don't find the entries that they need, they're falling a little bit short on the side hits.
Yeah, I agree with you. You got to be able to keep your focus throughout. If you're constantly just in a spot where you're in between two converging different looks defensively, if you're not able to make up your mind, especially early in rounds, if you play late in the rounds and you're not in a good spot, it can really come back to hurt you.
At the same time, they are up 1-0 in the series. So at the end of the day, if they can get Red Dot going quick and find themselves those entries, we could be in for a relatively quick sweep, as quick as a sweep can be if you go to overtime in map 1.
Yeah, exactly right. And they can do this in a hurry, too. The Seahawks are known to be able to turn up the heat. As I mentioned, they play a lot of grand teams very well. But consistency has been an issue with them. We saw them allow maybe, this UC San Diego team to stick around longer than they probably wanted to in their brains. So for them, it's come out here, take it care of business as usual here for the Seahawks as UNCW looks to close out. Now, let me tell you a little bit something of how UCSD Gold is able to get back to it as we look at their uncommon traits as well. And when we talk about the Tritons here, one of the things that you got to keep in mind is it's not always about that combination. You have to be aware, especially when we talk about Pearl here, Llama. It is all about being able to locate where is the operator going to be. And for Pearl, it's almost always B. And so that's why when we talk about UCSD Gold, my first uncommon trait, brand awareness. Brandon with that operator, so tough to maneuver around. That's why mid-play is so important. The only way around that, if you want to go B at all, you got to be able to go through, again, mid to link to be able to get on this side. Otherwise, it's very tough. You got to bring yourself numbers, and you got to be decisive, as we mentioned before.
Well, I think coming back strong as well is an important one to note, because for this team, they went all the way to overtime. They lost some of that momentum towards the end of map number 1, but I feel like they still have so much left in them that this team is not done fighting.
No doubt about it. And we talk about fights too, and that's why, the Triton Triforce that I talk about is 3 players over the 20 kill mark. Okay, you have to be able to win those fights to keep yourself in a spot where you're doing it. But because UNCW has been the better of the two teams when we talk about execution as far as their game plan is concerned, their mechanics in addition to this. So you have to be able to get to that 20 mark by those 3 in order to get it done. And of course, the resilience, as we saw at the tail end, to wrap everything up. You lost in overtime, put that out of your brain. Your mentality coming in, fresh slate, let's get it done.
Map number 2 is a must-win for that UC San Diego squad, or else they're done. Their first series on the weekend will be a loss. And with this round-robin format, you've got to play Northwood up next. You don't want to be the team that goes 0-2 in this round-robin stage.
You have to be able to get yourself a good start, and that's what UNCW was able to do and manage. Even though they lost some rounds that were a little bit questionable, you still pick yourself back up. You win round by round. You take it round by round. Why not map by map? Same thing applies for the Tritons. You have to dial in here. It all starts here and now. That Northwood team is not going to be as forgiving, I'll tell you that.
No, definitely not. I mean, they're favorites, I would say, to go to the championship and maybe even win the whole entire thing. Lots of Northwood teams out here this weekend. We talked about how many teams in total. Lots of different colleges traveling from all across the country right here to San Antonio to claim their crown.
Yeah, the best in the business, right? And so they come out here with these expectations. They've all been here, done that. They've been in the live environment. They've been able to handle their nerves extremely well as well. So, being able to dial in from the get-go, you have to have that calming presence as well. When we talk about UNCW, especially with the Seahawks, they have a tendency to be like high emotions, and sometimes you need that individual that can kind of calm things down a little bit and bring the team together and be able to focus and dial in. For UCSD, it felt like they needed a little bit of spark. They got very tunnel visioned in that first map, and that's something that I'm looking for them to turn around. Otherwise, you're going to catch yourself in a situation where you're not checking corners. Those easy mistakes are going to be exposed, especially at this level.
And it's only a few seconds it takes to obviously check that corner, but it's more important than that. At the base level, it feels like their attack-sided hits were really good, and the plans were phenomenal, but it's those small things that keep tearing them down. Of course, playing with a coach, kind of playing with, even though they're your coach, bringing a new player into the lineup is always super tough, but if they can bounce back here, especially in these first couple rounds to get under their feet, we went 50-50 on the Pistols in that first map. That could decide things going into map 2.
I think it could. You know, you want a strong start and obviously being able to play off that as well, because both of these teams have actually had a bit of mishap when we talk about playing off the pistol. They've surrendered a couple of 3 rounds each way. That's not taken away from the fact that these two teams are excellent at being able to operate regardless of the weaponry they bring into a round. But what it does say is when you have that advantage, take advantage of it. Take the advantage of it. Get things going. Pearl begins now, map number 2.
Oh, the pistol round is how we always start, and getting going here, it's Melvin with a double kill. Bringing things in, Frost has got an extra, and UCSD Gold, this is exactly the start that they wanted. They get the flame wall to cut things off. They settle Chamber into a 1v4.
Yeah, easy money, right? You get that spike down mid, because you know they're going to take that spot, right? Getting into A is very difficult. For B, it's a long-range, fight that you don't want to be able to go up against if you're UCSD. So be able to turn around starts with this round number 1, and taking the pistol was an important part of exactly that. The 3-piece here from Frost to kick us off. Frost is somebody you look for to have a bit of a turnaround here when we talk about this team coming in. They didn't have their leader the first time around. Him coming back in, obviously a difference right off the rip.
They find themselves not only round number 1, but an upgraded economy here, headed into round number 2. We also get a chance now to look across the board and get to see our agent selection. I think most notably, Tran is going to be playing over towards the Stargazer of Astra. Really big ability to cut the map into different pieces. While on the other side, it's the first mix of the day.
See, that combination comes in handy as well. You see Red Dot peel off wisely in the right time, but unfortunately, they let Seekers already, and then Crane's down as well. So, be able to use that one-sided, and the Astra finds it as well. Red Dot will fall. Melvin, just basically business as usual, the Prowlers to locate the rest, but Melvin falls before they call it here. Brand with a double demo here as they look to just kind of play off this spike. It's twice in a row where they've given themselves the advantage, but closing out, not as easy as it looked on the surface level. Brand has fallen, but it seems like it's just inevitable, and sure enough, you might buy time, but Bork will fall. And second round as expected here for the Titans.
They go back off of their economy build-up here, and I think most notably for Melvin, having a really good start here to this map number 2 has already unlocked that run it back. Frost is 3 away from their ultimate as well. And now for the Seahawks, they have to try and find an answer here with full rifles available. They basically got full shields on everybody but Bork, who's got that regenerative shield, and Seekers, who has that half.
Now, to be honest, man, when we talk about the Tritons, UCSD, they have a real chance to win this bonus and really get things going, force the hands of the Seahawks to put them in a compromising position, which we haven't seen a whole lot of in this match already. So being able to do that almost guarantees you a strong first half, which is exactly what you're looking for. But right now, they want to test this B-side, see if there's anything there. Obviously, you have the chamber, you want your Cinti on the far side, but they're going to take this B-side by storm here. But you see 3 at mid, Link looking to hop in that way. I'm wondering if they're aware of where they are.
Well, Crane gets the plant going on down here, but for the Triton, they've got to be very careful about their positioning on this setup. 3 inside of the site, and with that Astra still available, they'll try and slice things down from the UCSD Gold side. They're going to use that running back to get the re-entry, and it's Melvin on their first life, finds one. Trade away, Desai finds the double off the Outlaw, and with Melvin's headshot, it's back to a 2-on-1. Bork gets flashed away, and that's the round. Bonus confirmed. converted. Melvin finds the triple.
Daze was one of those, and Melvin was another. When I talk about the Triforce, that's the dynamic duo that were at the top of that list, and they just methodical way to be able to chop up that site and then be able to take it back. That was fantastic. They win that bonus nonetheless, so UNCW said, how can they win, or how can they play and execute with this full buy? Not able to do so, so they're going to be hurting for at least a couple of rounds. And so now in the driver's seat, the Tritons feeling really good, riding the momentum. Melvin already up to the 7-1-1 mark.
And don't get me wrong, this is a defensive-sided map by a large margin, but this selection of agents that UNCW has picked is an attack-side composition. They don't have any physical resources to stop them on the defensive side, so they need to get kills. Desai tries to find it and will off the flash and dash. Everybody wins here for the Golden Crew of UCSD. And even though Brand has popped the ultimate and grabbed themselves some space, the spike is in no man's land.
Yeah, you have to do something with the Blade Storm here. It's going to be difficult. You do get it back instantly. One shot was all it took, but you're in an Astra. On the other side, Bork was not able to generate enough in that moment, and Tran does the rest. But 2 rifles out of the hands, though, for UNCW. It's not the end of the world in that round, especially bringing in the Eco. However, you still find yourself in a position you didn't expect to be in here at the end of 4 rounds.
You at least get to unlock that operator here for Brand, who we talked about has to be good. Is actually going to toss it over to Bork as they try and set up here with the rest of the rifles. Economy hinges here on this round. UCSD is rich by all means, so as long as they can hold off with at least a few members left alive, they should be good to go. But I like this look at B long.
Exactly. You've got just the Killjoy here, obviously. To try to solo hold B is a little bit more difficult than you would find with A, but you have the 3 looks, and that's why UCSD, they're going to make the quick adjustment to try to get over, but it might be a little bit too late as they get on the site extremely quickly. And Crane was able to take out 1-2, so now you've got this site, but Tran wants to be able to make it interesting, as well as Melvin. So they have 2 different looks, one for Defender spawn, but they'll be taking out Secures there. And Seekers made it very difficult for them.
Got that finish kill through the wall, and as we resume, we're back in a 1v1. Red Dot forced out close angle. Melvin can't win it. A triple kill from Red Dot to clutch up their first round.
You know, it's very rare that I see him on the initiator. I love to see this fade play to give you more value as far as being able to figure out exactly where everybody is. A perfect play here at Pearl. Everybody brings in that fade, but none do it as well as my boy Red Dot. Nicely done here, as he's able to steal one back here for UNCW and finally be able to have a little bit of breathing ground. This buy is still going to be extremely tough, so they've got their work ahead of them, yes, but getting this first round on the mark is certainly a step in the right direction. I like the way they've been able to work off of that Haunts and the rest of the crew as well. Being able to get those fights and actually win them has been the difference maker here.
Design, though, just like SpongeBob SquarePants, ready to get to work here on this B-Long. Finds the first unbrain as they try to accelerate. It's UNCW who has the space here to take, but just doesn't have the members. Seekers finds the get back, finds the double. Red Dot finds the extra. And all of a sudden, it's a spawn side rotation. That's all that's left alive.
Very quick decision. We talked about decisiveness, and that's the way to do it. How about a 4-piece here for Seekers as he goes to work there late in this one. Fantastic job to really set the tone and get their second round 1 in a row.
That is massive. Solo efforts, we said, may decide this one. And for UNCW, they're playing a very interesting composition with this mix that has the ability to reset, but they're playing it for all the damage amp, all the smokes that it brings with it. And Bork and Seekers have so far found the trade away with each other. Need a little bit more from Bork, but those top 2 fraggers doing good to come back.
Yeah, so far so good, and have that answer as well. Look how aggressively they're going to play here as a curveball. Did land on 1, then Brand is going to swing and make them pay for the aggressive positioning. Yeah, as they had 3 members up top, it's actually 4, and Tram swings through, didn't see Brand as they went ahead and tailwind themselves in. And didn't even catch them in the periffs. Again, we talked about the problem from UCSD is getting that tunnel vision. That's a prime example of exactly that.
For the tunnel vision here, they've got one member left alive, and Low-Key Cow has been so good in clutch scenarios. Just a sheriff this time. Sea-Curse is the first point of interaction. The cutoff on the crossfire, the send out together, and Brand's got a quadra kill.
And that's exactly what you want. If you're the Seahawks here, you just split their line of vision. When you have that, you want to make sure you occupy multiple places here at Pearl. There's only limited options to get onto either site. And so, since that being the case, you want to give them different looks and really take advantage of that A site. And that's exactly what they were able to accomplish here. So coming in a whole different world of things here as UNCW able to piece together 3 here. It's U2 Ultimates online as well, as they'll have to run it back to gain a little bit more info. So not only do you have the fade, you have that too. So there's definitely a lot cooking and a lot to like here on the attack side here for the Seahawks, especially when you have Brand popping off. We said you got to be aware, Brand.
Always have to keep those peepers open. UNCW trying to go 4 straight here with the run it back to start. Sea-Curse has opened things up. It's a reversal side. It's a run out that Bork shut down. The blind is good, but Red Dot finds an extra. How about a double kill to the head of Tran? Sure, there's an ultimate left in the pockets of UCSD. The problem is they are so split here. They've got to wait for this plan to go down to regroup.
And sure enough, that's exactly what they're waiting for. So Sea-Curse will get this down inevitably. You got 2 left here. And I don't think they want to fight into this by any means. You got the Blades, you're going to hold on to those for sure. As far as the KJ goes, you just don't have enough to be able to get you on site, but it's going to be the thing. Brand will try to get to it too. They've secured a site. This will be an easy one for sure. So UNCW will continue this same vein of being able to find that momentum, continue with it as well. And they're on a hunting mission now. The Cloudburst, just to make sure, they got the one way. In case they want to challenge in and peek it, they're probably not going to. You have the Cloudburst is there. Plus a great operator shot and landing. As they get a couple more on the tail end of this one to bring it back down to even here at 2 apiece. The hunt continues though, but you're playing a dangerous game. I mean, UCSD is able to take out a couple of their members here. They're playing for fire a little bit as they win the round on the other side of the map.
I will say the relegation here of sending UCSD back and back and back over and over again is because they're splicing out their ultimates so well. And Crane has unlocked the Basequake. By the way, best ultimate name in the game right now, but it's such a good ultimate to take this site, and if they time them correctly, they could definitely pick up a few more rounds here on the attacking side.
Yeah, 100%. It's so exciting whenever you get to see the, the game's newest controller in action and being utilized as well. So that's certainly something you got to eyeball here. You got Tour de Force potentially, but not going to be able to, or not going to use it this time around. 5 ultimates online for UCSD Gold. And you wonder. You got to be able to pull at least a couple of those in and combine them. So Nightfall will be the first one that they do pull. Potentially, yes. Try to get them basically in a spot where they want to be. But right now, they're all stuck mid. As the Blade Storm is live active here on the B side too. As they will try to catch them, be able to plant. And this might be a quick retake here as the Jet. You see them with knives pulled to try to get them on site here, but Brand will look to hold them off from a solid angle here. But the Nightfall to try to get them rolling and cooking, to get them thinking twice, able to turn. Bork got one off screen as well, making 2 back-to-back here for UNCW. Now they're in the driver's seat to be able to get another round in hand. Wow, what a shot they're landing from the Blade Storm. Brand has been popping off here early. We said it might be the case, and now Tran's got his hands full. We'll get one, but it was all a ruse just to keep him distracted a little bit here as UNCW able to put their 5th round in a row to take the lead.
And it's once again single ultimates that help decide that round. A very early Basequake coming out from N Crane clears all of that space and red carpets them away. Don't get me wrong, Brand first player in the lobby, up to double-digit kills and far past that. 14, 7, and 1. It's Brand's lobby right now.
Damn, man. I mean, this is a team that's like all audio focused, right? You've got the Devon already from Red Dot and the Nightfall. Then you combine that too. It just makes life so difficult being able to track anybody at this point in time. It's such a helpful key. And UNCW this time around, they know that they've positioned themselves well with the rounds 1 in a row. They will take mid. The relatively slow push. Again, we talked about their discipline. Haven't been able to challenge A, so that allows this UCSD gold team to be able to hang and stand fast here and they want to make this move, they got to be careful when they do. And the Blaze is one way to be able to get there as well. Seekers with the curveball to try to swing it. Did not find one as they're already on their way out to begin with. So down to 55 seconds left, Llama, and they'll reassess which way they want to go. And B seems to be the answer.
There's still a lot of Astra utility kind of lingering around, but they've got overall placement. So that's the setup towards the backside, being able to destroy a lot of this mix utility. Still, the waveform's going to pop, and all those extra pressure points. It's Bork who finds the headshot. It's the lockdown that you have to make a choice. Do you get pushed out? Where do you even go? Right into the spray of Tran. Is ready for it. Below key count. Dies on the trade away. They avoid it. Defuse coming in. Astra should stop it. Frost gets the double. And UNCW don't stop the defuse.
That's right. Just keep them busy, distracted. That's exactly what you look for when you have numbers that are a little bit, unfavorable. You gotta find creative ways to get it done, and that was the way to do it. Just go ahead and stick it while everybody else was distracted here too. Sometimes when things aren't going your way, Llama, you gotta be able to find a way around that. For UC San Diego Gold, they were able to accomplish that. Plus, keeping 2 ultimates in hand as well. So you got the Cosmic Divide to potentially, on a retake, be able to split the site in half. Not to mention the run it back to give you some intel in the first place.
We once again find ourselves deadlocked, though, after 10 rounds. For UNCW, this is already the dream scenario of getting 5 here in this first half. The question is, can they convert in these last 2 ultimates they've got left to go? For low-key Cow, he's already got the Swarm Grenade, playing the regen. Shield finds the kill on Brand. That shield's going to refresh as Zai finds the first life of Seekers. But the cutdown from the backside isn't there. The free fire is! It's a nice little trade away from Seekers. And Red Dot gets the cleanup. So Frost has to do everything.
Despite the run it back, you got all the intel, but you got to be able to utilize it too. And for UNCW, they're able to, despite this UC San Diego Gold team who looked good earlier in that round, but not able to hold off the board here as the Seahawks now will get back into the driver's seat here and win. They're 6 as we almost go to the next half here. 1 round left, and they take the advantage on the attack side. So, I mean, they're feeling pretty good about where they are currently. Plus, of course, we'll see the Tour de Force come out with that last round. Plus, Cosmic Divide, nothing to hold on to it for them. So it'll be a pretty straightforward, I imagine, will be a pretty strong look. And sure enough, you see 5 lined up. I'm not sure if this will hold here for UNCW, but right now they're taunting a very strong A push. Whether or not that stands, we'll see.
Well, the tough part, too, is there's only a fade to try and defend this, so nothing really physical to try and deny it. They'll use some of those Astra Stars to try and smoke them away in the entry. They just don't care. They're just running in. They'll send the Jets flying on in as Frost is the sole defender. The Sheriff is not there as Melvin gets the crunch side, but it's just UNCW. The wallet slapped in your face, and with the Zai trying to convert, it's Seekers with their double. They get the refresh off the Flame Healing, and Tran doesn't have the eyes to fight.
Again, another perfect curveball. UNCW does the little things right, and they constantly find themselves in an advantageous spot because of it. Plus, they're heading into the defensive side, too, where they can really get some targeting and great value here from the rest of this squad, too. So, now that they have the advantage here, moving over to 7-5, it's just UCSD that finds themselves in a tough spot. Yeah, your coach Pog tried to hold it down in map 1. That was still discouraging nonetheless. Now you find yourself in a difficult situation. However, finding yourself some success in the pistol round, it feels like that should be able to spark something if you are able to get it going. But UNCW has won 6 out of the last 9 rounds in that first half, making it very difficult for them to get any kind of value.
This is the moment here where things can start to change. It's Bork on that backside who has to teleport away before faltering. It feels like UNCW, this is the moment they need to hold on to the pistol to give themselves more chances later on here through. Without this defensive-sided composition, look at how much space they've gotten over towards mid. Brand has just decided to walk at them.
And we talked about the decisiveness here for the Seahawks, and right now, they haven't chosen, at least not yet. They'll look towards A, but yeah, the mid look. Actually, UNCW finds themselves in a situation where they have that space and surrender it because they know that they haven't heard much B, nothing at all, in fact. They're already holding down Sewer, so this look will give them the massive advantage because they know they're A and they'll be able to collapse accordingly. So we'll see how this develops in, but here comes the A push now as they'll jump on his site. As A looking at them, but does get them red dot. Will fall to playing from the other side of the roost and trying to get to Bork. Will be able to peel out just in time. Found themselves on. Only good for one though, as Frost will put them on their back. Spike will be planted down to just one left. It happened in a hurry, and Seekers can't find them either. And so a perfect bounce back effort. We said they needed a pistol win, and that's exactly what UC San Diego Gold was able to manage.
Melvin has been having a heck of a series, but even more here in this map number 2. 13, 10, and 3 now has upgraded here into this bonus round. They'll be able to convert on some of their resources. From Brand is possibly thinking about bringing the Marshal with them, but for UNCW, you don't want to overextend. You still have the lead, and you're still very much in this half.
And you got to have the mentality of the comms to be able to match that as well. Be able to bring yourself out of it. This is the exact look I was telling you. Your Brand on the B side. Do they want to be able to challenge us here? Able to shift themselves out, but did not land the shot. And whether or not that deters CSD Gold or not, well, looks like they are not phased. They'll be kind of inching their way down, and now they really have the driver's seat as far as Peaker's advantage. Now, to let their guard down for just a second, it won't matter.
That's a beautiful first blood here on the entry for Brand, especially. That's a tough one to lose, and Melvin's found another. It is just a wallet advantage once again. For the Tritons, what is the follow-up? Don't want to go too far into Bork spray and give them that chamber 1v1 that they also desire. But it's going to be Bork playing off it, loses, and it'll be flawless.
Nicely done answer back there to Stinger and Sheriffs in hand for the last one. A flawless round, exactly what you're looking for here as well. Because, you know, obviously you give yourself the prime opportunity to be able to win that round and yet still able to turn it around in a big way. And now UNCW are certainly, they're going to buy here to be able to give themselves a slight advantage. However, again, we've seen UCSD Gold be able to be outmatched, find the thrifty, and if they find that here, UNCW putting themselves at a massive risk here. We find ourselves even again, and how about this? I mean, the first couple of maps, and we've been back and forth every single time. It's been that close. Which team can really find themselves resilient?
Way to go all the way to overtime. To decide map number 1, Bork could be decided of their fate quickly. It's going to be a quick run back from Melvin as they try and take space over towards the link. With all that extra Aster utility as well, that'll be the first life gone. Red Dot with the kill and the headshot, but that plant is in a great spot here for them to play whatever scenario they want. The problem is Seacurse is still alive, but with that headshot, is deciding to play that upper. Seacurse on the crosser. Curveball to clear, and a lot of stunning utility missing, but Brand is not the one to miss. Finds the headshot, finds them both. Brand dives on the trade away, but he's given his team so much space to play off of, and Frost has stolen that away. Frost, a triple, denies the quadra, but his teammates got his cleanup.
Just get the job done, be able to locate them as well and find them back at a site, and then be able to finish on it too, because there were so many different looks that you could have had from UNCW. They had them listed basically up heaven plus link as well, and still couldn't find a way to find traction. And it all started because you have your leader of Frost in the right place, right time to start and deny what was a grand look from Brand. After he got a 2-piece, he could have popped off. If he got 3, that round was over in UNCW's favor. But because they held strong, it was a fantastic job for them to do it, all starting back from the Nebulous, perfectly placed to deny entry easily and make them a little bit uncomfortable from the rip.
If they go fast this time, it's Bork who actually has to teleport backwards after getting forced out of their position. It was Seekers who was flushed out, but still finds the trade off the Sheriff. Not too bad. Trading away 1 for 1 also takes the Phoenix ultimate out from the other side. For UCSD Gold, though, patient on this entry.
And Dazai, how good have they been early in rounds? Find themselves with a handful of first bloods to really set that tone. But a 1 for 1 answer, of course. And now a different look, completely different vibe, completely to you. Melvin was able to sniff out Brand as they were on their way to him. And now Bork and the gang, just 2 left here on the B side. But of course, UCSD, I'm wondering if they have enough intel here. Yeah, sure enough, able to receive that as Daz found 1. So now it'll be an A push And when you have one fade on the other side, it'll be extremely difficult to do. I don't care if it's red dot or not. Red dot with the lack of weaponry here, it will spell trouble for them as they're about to catch 4. But you see the chamber on the flank as well. We'll see if Bork can make good use of this one. He's trying to tell him, but he's losing ground.
Oh, he's got to go for the running speed here. That's going to alert the position. Maybe it'll give Red Dot the time they needed. As the Sheriff, do they clear it? The answer is no. Now the long clear. No HP on the either side. And it's 100 full from Red Dot. A closeout here off the plant. They're searching for where these players are. They've turned their back to him. Red Dot, the timing here, decides to turn their own back to him. A 4v2, both teams neither know where each other are. Finally, the jumping peak will reveal it. A swarm grenade to delay, and a double kill on top of the extra for Melvad.
Finally, somebody got themselves together to recognize what was happening here. What this was Red Dot with perfect FPS timing, except for the fact that they lost track of exactly where they went, right? There was multiple options, to be fair, to kind of give them that out. But in that moment, you like the timing. It's just the execution at that point in time. You have to be able to use those sound cues, although UCSD did a great job to kind of hold that at bay and not give them a whole lot of details. I feel like that was a situation where you turn one, you make one little tiny decision, and that could have been a completely different round.
Round lead is 2. UC San Diego right now in the advantage category. That defense starting to best around. Seacrest finds a 1-for-1. We're just dueling as fast as we can. It's in favor of the Tritons, who have found themselves a +1 advantage, but have lost their Phoenix. So without that entry tool, it's going to rely a lot on their Jet v Jet as Brand tries to play this defensive angle.
Yeah, Brand's got not only a good look, full health, did not lose anything in the exchange in addition to everything else, plus has the mobility to be able to kind of break out, and you have the advantage of just having to let them come to you. That was very easy, but the distraction from the updrafts will keep them at bay. And very difficult in that situation. Now the Nightfall to look to break them in, see if they can't gain grounds, but it's all for a fake. They want to be able to draw over both members of the Seahawks, and right now both not looking to bite. They think they have him fooled, but I'm not sure. I'm not convinced. The Seahawks look like they're onto this completely, and they're going to slow play back to defender's spawn. So very important decision to be made here. I think UNCW is making a smart choice to stay put and keep eyes on both sites.
It does mean a potential 1v3 on either side. Tran and crew, not the greatest health bars to work with. Their fate is down to just a sliver. They'll use that Cosmic Divide to cut off the back of sight and realistically just converge on that plant. The question is the retake. Crane goes fast, maybe faster than they expected. Through the smoke here, do they get the catch? Just doesn't turn left. Frost finds the headshot. And UCSD, unless Bork can clutch up here, has found a way to 10. But still 2 more left to go. The Seahawks trying to find a miracle in the depths of strategy. With all of the Astra utility left to go, really no chance to just stick this defuse. And there it is. Cal finds the headshot. And the Tritons are first to double digits.
Yeah, UNCW in that moment, it's you have to try. You're already on site, but you know that there's 2 individuals from UCSD who just have to play time. So that being said, a perfect time to take that time out, and it's something that both teams were just so close last map that no team decided to take that time out. Now, if you're UNCW, it's a perfect timing because, as I mentioned, they're doing the little things right. It's almost like a mirror of what we saw in the last map, where UCSD was making those decisions that one little decision could have changed everything. UNCW find themselves here. So now make those decisions, be able to find yourself in a situation where you got to be able to clear everything. Once you find yourself making fundamental mistakes, let's take a breather. Let's talk about this. We have our leadership in here. We have ourselves in a spot where we're way more calm in a sense, but that's not really paying into your wheelhouse of talents here. So I'm very curious to see what this team has to talk about here to be able to come out and give UCSD gold a taste of their own medicine.
A few more seconds left to go here in the timeout, and as you said, a timeout for me is also a timeout for these. So I think for UCSD Gold, you also have 2 ultimates in your back pocket, 2 ultimates that can be around changing. I think they're trying to develop a plan to use these strategically and make sure they can try and shut down this map split. is a map number 3 decider if we need it, but UNCW after the timeout would not like to go there.
We'll see how they utilize it. They look out mid to potentially do it, but I like holding on to this anyway. It's being more patient with it, being able to utilize it at the right time, and I think that's probably going to be the case here as the Headhunter does not land. So right back out you go. Rendezvous up. And regather the cavalry here for this next push, but they're on you in a hurry. Stun comes out. Bork looking to turn the corner here. Curveball will get them in. So they go right back out to try to take no time, no days off. Seekers will fall, but that was the run it back, so they will have a second opportunity here too, but Melvin will drop as well. Down to the 3v3 situation as Daz awaits Red Dot and the turn, but they didn't take it. So Red Dot will be able to just swing it perfectly timed, perfectly executed here. And now 2v1 in Trent. Low on HP here, just trying to bail themselves out. Hope for a hero play, but nothing doing here. So UNCW take advantage of their timeout. It's Crane able to get the 3-piece here, and they're back within 2.
That's a crazy comeback round as well. Daz's positioning there on the updraft to take that high ground, look down on everybody else, was phenomenal. The problem is this composition has so many quick activated smokes. They use their own jet to get the retake, to cut down those sightlines and isolate 1v1s and make that round happen. The first round of this half so far that UNCW has been able to win. They've still got the ultimate advantage by a large margin.
Yeah, they got the trade. So they've got Tour de Force pulled, and everybody else is able to full buy too, so it helps their eco. In addition, they'll also have this beeline lined up for it, but they miss. They're off the rip, but they're able to rendezvous out and keep their lives and keep the Tour de Force in hands and have plenty of shots left to it. But look at the play on the opposite ends of the plays. This is the second time we've seen this happen. It's Seekers that's onto it first to be able to locate it there and get the first one. But Seekers was standing in their own place, looking to heal up before that exchange with Frost. But Frost able to make them pay. And as things settle down, UCSD Gold know the mission here. You're in a 4v4 situation. You have everybody from UNCW, so they're going to go rotate. They might fake it, but they're going to go mid here to test the waters. Brand will be the first one to get the first pick on the other side with A and open up a whole lot of space for UNCW.
Pull out your gun. Pull out your gun. Red Dot wins the 1v1 in spawn. Eliminates the one opponent that tried to face check them. And a round that UNCW invested everything to try and stop the assault. It'll come down to a 4v2. Maybe just a 2v2 on site as they play it slow. Bork has got the ultimate activated and is shutting down any sort of long angle. One shot doesn't connect. Back to the rifle. Finds the kill anyways. The spike did not get planted, and Red Dot plants them in the dirt.
Nicely done to pull that off, because UCSD Gold could have easily taken a 2v2 there on site, then be able to go back to it. But because you kept yourself silent, number one, then your recognition to try and spam default, that didn't work. There's only one other place that they're planning. Make sure you get their shots off in time, so you're able to take them out of the equation. Then it's just one left. You're looking at them from one side. That allows Red Dot to go to work as they are distracted there too. So this is the exact coordination I talk about with the Seahawks of UNCW coming back into play, back within one as well. Looking to close out, because you don't want to give momentum back to UCSD Gold. You want it here and now on this map.
They've got the operator as well to try and shut down, not be long, but the A entryway here. Brand, oh, he's good for one! Loves the cloud burst to solidify the defensive rotation. And even though they lose Seekers here on the outbound pressure, they do lose control of mid. Look at what they gain back through spawn side. They've got a complete crunch. It is sardines in a can here from UCSD Gold. They've got to find a way to swim away.
All things considered, though, they have themselves a good look because they've been able to capitalize mid and be able to take and operate in that space as well. So all things considered, they look pretty strong. Now, that being said, they don't know that B's wide open, but that is the look ahead of us. So they're going to try to peek and maybe tease that thought a little bit. They've also got a good sight that shows that, hey, maybe not occupied, but Brand is still holding it down, so you might have a false sense of security here if you're the Tritons. But they're going to look to go through art as well, and they're going to find Crane on the other side of this one. If they don't play their cards right, the Han, and yet the spam through the smoke is 3, and Brand with the operator on the other side from A. It all happened all simultaneously, and the Seahawks are able to get double digits themselves.
That is a tough call. I mean, you know the information is there. I think the timing just wasn't in their favor. They had to send one of the sites and thought that they could overrun it. But here it is, 3 rounds straight for UNCW. They've got clear economical advantages. They've got the operator still alive on brand, and this time they're going to switch it up and move that operator back over to B.
Exactly. Give them different looks, and it was almost unanticipated there on the A side as they were swinging it. So because of that, they are now weary to go back to A for that reason because it works so well. So you see just a mid push here to potentially go B is always the thought process here, as they could go through alleyway, and that's going to be held down completely by Red Dot and the gang. You see them already measuring them up basically in that spot. So they'll try Art instead, but they're going to catch themselves. And Nebula on the other side of it trying to get through it. Seekers does find one, able to gain a little bit of that space back there is incorrect. Now gets the flash on the way back down too. Does find one on the swing, make it 2 back-to-back kills. A flawless round for the Seahawks, and they continue their presence here.
I would call a timeout if I was UC San Diego right now. I mean, everything working 4 rounds in a row for UNCW. They have got full control of not only this map, but Bearlade, I dare say, this series. A couple more round wins and this thing's over.
That's right, and the way it's trending right now, it's feeling like that might be the case. Brand has taken over this game. I don't know what they talked about in their timeouts, but let me tell you, they talked about the right things. We talk about it all the time. Oh, timeouts are so important. It's what you do with them. It's how you execute out of them that really matters.
Oh, Brand here, give him some time to cook. Add some oil on top. Has the chance to dash up. Nice blind, misses the shot, but puts the pressure on. Now the question is, do they want to try and send it? The answer is yes. This is where things could start to crumble. Seekers, curveball, nothing on it, and still no information from the op. The question on the long range, how does it look? Seekers just swings out! The Giga Chad play doesn't work, and is satted down to his grave. Here comes an extra life. The dash in. The Phoenix, the running back is denied, but Brand will die! A 3v5 setup for UCSD.
Wow, we pulled out this shorty, but it was not pulled in time. And now Bork has a good look at this, though. However, they're going to have a long way to go, but Increment will spark it up. So in a moment's notice, they're back to 3-3, and Red Up again, good for 1. And Daz, though, will at the operator, he picked that up right off the ground, was able to find one as well. 1v1 battle, Red Dot, staring down the face of what could be an excellent round to go to Matt Point does! 3-piece from Red Dot, getting it done in the clutch. And now it will be Matt Point, match point here in round 1.
They can't keep getting away with it. They can't keep getting away with it, man. UNCW, they have already guaranteed themselves overtime. But do they decide to end it in regulation? The Triton aren't going to call their timeout. They want to play through it. They think the resurge and the speed that they had in that last round was enough to carry it over. One ultimate, the lockdown is all that they have.
Oh, man. This is, again, prime opportunity, exactly where you want to be for the Seahawks, obviously. However, when you get Red Dot pumping in this, when you get him going, what was your uncommon trait? You said it yourself. Don't let him get cooking. And that's what we see here is Bork spamming through, knew exactly where they were going to be. He sees the trends, and he gets it done to draw first blood.
The lockdown just can't be used for the entry, and that's what they're going to do with it. UNCW very happy to play around, play the close angles, and wait for this one to expire. And they don't even get on site because of the mix mode. Bork is going to be caught in the detain, and it's going to be Evil who finds that headshot. We're back at a 4v4. Nightfall is there to clean it. Evil's found a double. Brand finds the upper. Here's Sakers from above, down so below. Frost is dead. Brand, the heroics on a 2v1. It's all down to Tran. The spike is down in sight. You've got to find 2 off just a regen shield. Awkward angle, no good! UNCW picks up their first win of the round robin stage.
I don't know if you remember this, but UCST Gold hit 10 first, and they had a 3-round lead at that point in time. So many rounds in a row that they were able to get together and focus. And how about just a massive timeout to talk it over? And when you let emotions get you in a positive way, man, oh man, they look incredibly strong. Obviously, eyes on the prize. They got it done here. They got a massive way to go, trying to get Northwood, but job done. Job accomplished here in the meantime. Did a great job on the map to be able to mitigate some of the damage that they saw a little bit earlier in this map, and still able to take the 2-0. Much needed here for UNCW.
I think on the other side for UC San Diego, this is a tough loss. I mean, two very, very close maps that they lose at the end of the day. I think they still have to hold their head high for how hard that they fought. But now they know their head has to be held high going into a really tough matchup, as it's a must-win against Northwood to try and force a 1-1-1 tie all the way through.
And you know what? I'm a little bit more confident in this squad, especially when Frost was able to join in and really make a difference early in that map. But it's just about that consistency. We talked about it. As long as they're actually checking their P's and Q's, or actually, keeping themselves focused to explore all the options, all possibilities, and play game theory the right way, then they give themselves a shot. This time around, didn't quite find it here, as you saw just the pop-up from Red Dot very late. It's able to get the 20-piece on the board and really limits what we saw on the other side as well. Brand was a large part of that too, with the operator always kept them guessing as far as which side it was too. We talked about decisiveness. There's nothing more difficult to decide on than trying to figure out which side the operator's on and try to play around it.
In a two-side map, that's one of the toughest things to do. And I think you give credit for UNCW to playing around this map pool and taking away their opponent's map pick, being able to generate so many of those first blood kills through speed, and then a lot of change-ups on their strategy. But, I mean, don't get it wrong. Every single one of their players on every side hits double-digit kills. This was a close series that was only decided by 5 rounds in total across those two maps. So this is a tough one to go down as a sweep.
Yeah, you're the guinea pigs here. You want to be able to start off early, and you're the first one at LAN to get your hands dirty. And I think that gives you an advantage later on in these days too. So to come out here with a big one for UNCW is huge in a lot of different ways. Northwood hasn't quite played a series yet. It hasn't played a match, so maybe you'll be looking to take it to them in that sense. But job done. You take one check and mark it off here. But a long weekend ahead of us, and so far so good. Very entertaining Valorant to kick us off, sir.
I mean, to start us off on the day, why not a little overtime for Valorant? That is going to be our only series of Valorant for the day today, as we swap gears over to League of Legends. But as we said, we're going to have 4 different streams running across 4 different places across the weekend, from multiple different titles to 40+ different schools in attendance. It is going to be a lot of fun. So first and foremost, if you haven't already, hit that follow button and turn on the notifications, because we've got some League of Legends when we return here at the Forge Trials.
Forge Trials is
Performance sets the limit. Stability determines the journey. This is ROG, engineered for gamers. A true ROG design. Every core component is focused on real performance. Pure ROG DNA, aura that fuels fearless souls. Built to be pushed, cooled to endure. Air moves with purpose, heat exits with precision. Every rigorous military-grade test ensures stable performance at extreme levels. Global support wherever you play. This is the ROG G-Series gaming desktop.
When it comes to performance, it's hard to beat a desktop gaming PC, and this year, we're adding a brand new machine to our lineup, the ROG G700. Now, not everyone wants to build their own PC from scratch, but if you're the kind of person that just wants a powerful, reliable machine that will get you up in gaming right away, the G700 is perfect. Pick the configuration that matches your budget and game library, and you'll be on your way. Now, apart from its standout style, there are a few things that set the G700 apart. First and foremost, the G700 uses high-quality ASUS components designed and built by the people who made ROG the best brand in gaming. From the high-performance Intel or AMD processor to the new ROG Astral GeForce RTX 50 series GPU, each combination of parts is thoroughly tested and validated for performance and compatibility with a cooling system that's been optimized for this specific chassis and the components inside. And speaking of compatibility, that's another advantage of the G700. Unlike many pre-built desktops, the G700 uses standard-sized components for everything, so you can easily upgrade parts down the line without worrying about proprietary connectors or unconventional mounting points. This accessibility is perfect whether you're an at-home gamer or outfitting an entire esports team at a local school. And if you hit a snag, there's only one company you need to contact for support. The G700 comes with an extendable 3-year warranty, and our service team can help you with anything you need.
Performance sets the limit. Stability determines the journey. This is ROG, engineered for gamers. A true ROG design. Every core component is focused on real performance. Pure ROG DNA, aura that fuels fearless souls. Built to be pushed, cooled to endure. Air moves with purpose, heat exits with precision. Every rigorous military-grade test ensures stable performance at extreme levels. Global support wherever you play. This is the ROG G-Series gaming desktop.
When it comes to performance, it's hard to beat a desktop gaming PC, and this year, we're adding a brand new machine to our lineup, the ROG G700. Now, not everyone wants to build their own PC from scratch, but if you're the kind of person that just wants a powerful, reliable machine that will get you up in gaming right away, the G700 is perfect. Pick the configuration that matches your budget and game library, and you'll be on your way. Now, apart from its standout style, there are a few things that set the G700 apart. First and foremost, the G700 uses high-quality ASUS components designed and built by the people who made ROG the best brand in gaming. From the high-performance Intel or AMD processor to the new ROG Astral GeForce RTX 50 series GPU, each combination of parts is thoroughly tested and validated for performance and compatibility with a cooling system that's been optimized for this specific chassis and the components inside. And speaking of compatibility, that's another advantage of the G700. Unlike many pre-built desktops, the G700 uses standard-sized components for everything, so you can easily upgrade parts down the line without worrying about proprietary connectors or unconventional mounting points. This accessibility is perfect whether you're an at-home gamer or outfitting an entire esports team at a local school. And if you hit a snag, there's only one company you need to contact for support. The G700 comes with an extendable 3-year warranty, and our service team can help you with anything you need.
Performance sets the limit. Stability determines the journey. This is ROG, engineered for gamers. A true ROG design. Every core component is focused on real performance. Pure ROG DNA, aura that fuels fearless souls. Built to be pushed, cooled to endure. Air moves with purpose, heat exits with precision. Every rigorous military-grade test ensures stable performance at extreme levels. Global support wherever you play. This is the ROG G-Series gaming desktop.
When it comes to performance, it's hard to beat a desktop gaming PC, and this year, we're adding a brand new machine to our lineup, the ROG G700. Now, not everyone wants to build their own PC from scratch, but if you're the kind of person that just wants a powerful, reliable machine that will get you up in gaming right away, the G700 is perfect. Pick the configuration that matches your budget and game library, and you'll be on your way. Now, apart from its standout style, there are a few things that set the G700 apart. First and foremost, the G700 uses high-quality ASUS components designed and built by the people who made ROG the best brand in gaming. From the high-performance Intel or AMD processor to the new ROG Astral GeForce RTX 50 series GPU, each combination of parts is thoroughly tested and validated for performance and compatibility with a cooling system that's been optimized for this specific chassis and the components inside. And speaking of compatibility, that's another advantage of the G700. Unlike many pre-built desktops, the G700 uses standard-sized components for everything, so you can easily upgrade parts down the line without worrying about proprietary connectors or unconventional mounting points. This accessibility is perfect whether you're an at-home gamer or outfitting an entire esports team at a local school. And if you hit a snag, there's only one company you need to contact for support. The G700 comes with an extendable 3-year warranty, and our service team can help you with anything you need.
Performance sets the limit. Stability determines the journey. This is ROG, engineered for gamers. A true ROG design. Every core component is focused on real performance. Pure ROG DNA, aura that fuels fearless souls. Built to be pushed, cooled to endure. Air moves with purpose, heat exits with precision. Every rigorous military-grade test ensures stable performance at extreme levels. Global support wherever you play. This is the ROG G-Series gaming desktop.
When it comes to performance, it's hard to beat a desktop gaming PC, and this year, we're adding a brand new machine to our lineup, the ROG G700. Now, not everyone wants to build their own PC from scratch, but if you're the kind of person that just wants a powerful, reliable machine that will get you up in gaming right away, the G700 is perfect. Pick the configuration that matches your budget and game library, and you'll be on your way. Now, apart from its standout style, there are a few things that set the G700 apart. First and foremost, the G700 uses high-quality ASUS components designed and built by the people who made ROG the best brand in gaming. From the high-performance Intel or AMD processor to the new ROG Astral GeForce RTX 50 series GPU, each combination of parts is thoroughly tested and validated for performance and compatibility with a cooling system that's been optimized for this specific chassis and the components inside. And speaking of compatibility, that's another advantage of the G700. Unlike many pre-built desktops, the G700 uses standard-sized components for everything, so you can easily upgrade parts down the line without worrying about proprietary connectors or unconventional mounting points. This accessibility is perfect whether you're an at-home gamer or outfitting an entire esports team at a local school. And if you hit a snag, there's only one company you need to contact for support. The G700 comes with an extendable 3-year warranty, and our service team can help you with anything you need.
Hello, everyone. I looked in the wrong direction. Welcome back to the NECC stream. I'm very excited as we dive into a little bit of League of Legends. Obviously, a couple new faces. My name is Orbital. With me is Shivy. We'll be your casters for the upcoming matchup. Shivy, how you doing today?
Doing good. I mean, LAN experience, one of a kind, very unique. League of Legends LANs can get pretty intense, considering we don't have too many of them nowadays.
It is an unfortunate thing, but definitely here today we have some of the best of the best. I'm very, very excited to dive on into the matchup here today, which will be Fisher going up against, I believe, Simon Fraser, University in the group stage.
Yeah, Fisher having an unfortunate early exit in the CLOL champion or the CLOL nationals and stuff like that. They ended up going 5th, 6th overall, which is still a very pretty strong performance for them. They regularly make top 8. So SFU definitely has their work cut out for them.
Now, of course, when it comes to the teams, no better than anyone else to kind of explain, but there have been some changes in the recent patch notes. Some that has made a wave, I should say, through the social medias. Some changes to the minions. Now, granted, how minion aggro works, I don't really think it's going to make that much of an issue for these teams here, but anything catching your eye recently?
Just kind of the way that they're pushing the game as we do get into pick ban here. A lot of what's been prioritized, I feel like Mel has been pick ban for a while now. Bot lane wise, Ash Seraphine, Corki Nami, Yunara Lulu. That's what you're kind of going to see traded here in and here out. On the jungle side, a lot of Xin Zhao, Jarvan, Pantheon. These are some of the power picks here. But instead, Fisher's going to immediately ban away the Gnar, a safe top lane pick that can play into ranged matchups, tank matchups, all that kind of stuff. I'm expecting to see Sion, Cassante here as two popular tank picks in the top side.
Depending on what they enjoy as well. With Fisher on the blue side, it will mean that they are very focused on power picks, those blind picks that can really get over. So I like what you're calling out, the Gnar, the Jace. Viego very targeted though, so that's a little bit surprising for SFU. A little bit more focus on individuals, so really look towards some of those counter picks in R3 and R5. That'll be very fun. Sona getting a little bit of love in there. Probably wasn't expecting that one.
Yeah, I mean, another enchanter band. Sona scales really well, right? One of the best scaling enchanters in the bot lane here as a support here. So I'm really interested to see what Fish is going to be prioing. No Mbessa means that we're not going to see any Mbessa Vi compositions. Could see more Ari, could see a lot more of those mid lane mages. There have been some interesting itemization changes across the board. We see a lot of mid lanes just rushing Hextech Proto Belt. Some people still going the burn build with Blackfire Torch and Leandries. It's just kind of whatever your flavor is.
Yeah, we really want to make sure that you focus on the draft and not on Shibby's beautiful face, which you will see throughout the entirety of this week. And me as well, but no one cares about me, so we dimmed the lights a little bit. Looking at the last ban, it was Vex, as you were mentioning, a little bit more stable in the mid lane, but Caitlyn. This has been making the rounds once more, a very powerful blind ADC. If you are working with just, we want to neutralize the lane. Because the Caitlyn came out though, you are looking for scaling from SFU. If you can get over the early mid, it can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, Smolder absolutely busted. Just a ridiculous bot lane champion right now. The itemization is a little weird here. You can pair it up with the Nami. I would have liked to see it maybe something else, but Nami's completely fine. I mean, it's just a safe kind of bot lane here. It's up to Fisher right now to see what they're going to pick. If they're going to go like Caitlyn Lux and try to slam the lane, maybe they go something a little bit more aggressive with the Karma. That's exactly what I was going to point out. Like essentially a massive double poke lane. Works similar to Ezreal Karma, but Caitlyn is much more in your face in terms of like, I'm going to take turret plates. I'm going to set traps under turrets. Like, I'm going to be impossible to deal with. And Smolder Nami are just not going to have a fun time.
No, that is a very aggressive, annoying, which is why when they're low, you dive in with the Xin Zhao, a jungler that is well known as not only being great on the clear, very aggressive in the 1v1s, but can gank like no other. But if you want to make sure Xin Zhao can't do anything like that, you turn out the lights, scale to level 6 for a Nocturne, and then ult.
Yeah, I'm going to be really interested in what they end up pairing here. If Fisher's smart, I'll just ban the Ori away, right? No Fisher or no Nocturne Ori composition allowed for SFU Esports here. Second round of bans, going to be interesting. Mordekaiser not being available. I mean, there's a lot of top lane counter picks, right? If SFU want to play a tank, like something like the Sion that I mentioned, maybe the Cassante, that's going to be the difference maker. And the sides are swapped. This is much more akin to what I would expect. Yeah, because Fisher should be playing the OP stuff, and I think SFU trying to go for what they want here. Yeah, Smolder, Nami. I think he's going to have a rough time still, right? I mean, what I said kind of still stands. Caitlyn Karma, slam lane kind of position, but ultimately it's going to be up to Fisher to kind of weather the storm. Because once they make it out past the 15, 20-minute phase, as long as Smolder is stacking correctly, usually around 21 to 24 minutes is when they have that full 225 stacks and they start to execute passive off.
Right, and it's also the fact that you are gambling a little bit in terms of this composition. If you're able to gamble and you win, not only have you locked out these champions specifically for the Fearless draft, which will be coming in games 2 and 3, I believe, you are able to kind of deny so much away. With the bans of the Orianna and the Sion, as well as the Mordekaiser and the Cassante, which you mentioned earlier, high priority champion for some, it will be the Aurora and the Victor to be played out. Hopefully Aurora and Victor in the mid lane.
Yeah, Aurora Nocturne, kind of similar to what
we just got Nocturne ulted.
Yeah, we just got Nocturne ulted here. Lights have been out, and there's the Ornn coming in. pretty safe standard comp from SFU. But yeah, like I was saying, Nocturne Aurora, very similar to Nocturne Ori, right? You turn the lights out, you used it between both worlds. There's a ton of burst that Aurora can do. So if she can get onto your throw everything I throw, everything I'm saying out the window, that is a Riven in our midst right now, going in the top lane into Ornn. That you talked about like gamble pick. That's Riven is a gamble pick.
Listen, I gamble with the best of them, and I would never gamble like this. However, if it's Fisher, I believe they know what they're doing as well. When we talk about compositions, it's always up there, but we also know these guys have made it here for a reason to the League of Legends national stage. We know that they know how to pilot a lot of these champions, especially as an R5. I think if you win the lane, it also helps accelerate if you're able to be mobile into that mid bot, if you're able to start kind of rotating and making sure to get that smaller, better matchups. All of a sudden, it's that accelerant, if it wins, of course.
Yeah, I mean, bruiser / fighter itemization got a lot better. So Riven, Renekton, these kinds of champions with their items can actually get into, like you said, pretty significant lead. I'm interested to see if Fisher's going to opt in for the Ignite and just take the top lane quest TP, or if they're going to go for the accelerated TP. If I'm Fisher, I'm just going to all in here and try to take the Ignite, see if I can get that lead out, because eventually, SFU Esports, this Ornn is going to be too tanky for this Riven to deal with in the side lane and stuff like that. But with the Nocturne in hand, you can kind of shadow maybe your mid laner, your top laner, post-laning phase, and look for some of these unfair fights. Like Xin Zhao for SFU Black, they're going to have that early game pressure, most likely helping out bot lane, making sure that they can't get ganked, making sure they win the 3v3. But in response, Fisher just has to, like I said, weather that storm. And eventually, these engages with the Aurora and the Riven, who you won't be able to see with the Nocturne Ultimate, is going to be blowing up your backline.
It's a terrifying thought, but honestly, I'm excited to see what they can do for game number 1. And I know for the players themselves, they're very excited to be here inside the Boeing Center. It is going to be an awesome time. You can actually see behind us. I'm going to step to the side. You took a little bit earlier. I know you can't see right below because the thirds of the draft is there, but there's an entire venue set up ready for the following days. From here on out, that will be filled with competition, not just on the League of Legends side, but alongside Marvel Rivals, Overwatch, Rocket League, and so many more. We even got a little bit of FGC action, I believe, with Super Smash Brothers and a few others. So if you are interested, please come ahead, come on out, check it out, check the venue, come on in, interact with the teams even, if you can. Now, for the final question, at least before we load on in, I love posing this question because I just like to. Shibby, taking a look at these teams and the compositions, who do you think is taking game 1?
I mean, Smolder is just too good, right? Like you're essentially put on a timer. Is if you're SFU Esports here, you've got to win before 25 minutes, and if you don't, this Smolder is going to scale. The itemization is really, really good for him, and the amount of stacks that he can accrue before that 25-minute mark is going to be crucial. I have Fisher taking this. Nocturne Aurora is a very good 1-2 combo, and then you've got Nami and Smolder. I think the best 80 carry on the patch right now, ready to go. So I'd be surprised. If SFU can do it, though, this is a very, very big upset in game 1.
I do like the fact that for SFU, they're very siege-heavy composition as well. So if you look on that side, like you said, if the Smolder is able to get off the ground and farm, you're golden, right? No problems for Fisher. But if we see SFU actually be able to lay down some of this poke, we're looking at the Caitlyn and the Karma, dominate the lane, take the CS lead, rotate that into plates, allow the Victor to scale up. Victor is great at zoning as well. If a Nocturne or anyone decides to come in, things go wrong. There are multiple available lanes for SFU, but they need to play at that appropriate level, at that nationals level, if they want to take this game 1. Another question, you mentioned a lot about the bottom lane. For SFU, do you want them to also focus on that bottom lane, shutting down the Smolder, shutting down the Nami and all, or would you prefer they focus somewhere else?
I mean, it's going to be tough, right? I mean, the Xin Zhao can't really do too much with the Ornn. Like, I feel like Riven Nocturne wins that 2v2, unless this Riven massively outplays for Fisher, or misplays specifically, right? I think you can get them low. There are some kill angles for Ornn here, if they can get the CC chain going. But realistically, your job is to hover mid lane when it hits level 6, when Nocturne is going to lights out, but instead, just help your bottom lane.
I'm excited to dive on in. So, with that being said, it is SFU Black versus Fisher College. For SFU Black, we have Oren. Welcome to the party. That is a very nice streamer mode action, as well as White Knight, Corvus, Regular Moo, and Wigglytuff.
Yeah, inside on Fisher College, we got Yaito, Nerb, Mare, Robro, and Rollick, and they're already starting to scrap on this bottom side. This is a very common thing you'll see. Both bottom lanes will rush into that middle bush there, place a ward and try to take it down here. But Fisher had the idea to bring their Aurora here and get some extra burst onto the bottom lane of SFU.
I appreciate it. Again, with the minion spawning a little bit earlier, it is about getting some of that extra value in there and how fast you're going to rotate. Not only that, hopefully you don't miss out too much on your own lane matchup. You don't want to lose out on the XP there either. However, with that standard, junglers starting up on the top side will be eating on the bottom side of the river, so nothing too much. Main thing for Fisher, are you going to use that maybe 200 extra HP lead over the enemy support?
Yeah, and nothing too crazy across the board here. Yaito did take my advice, opted in for the Ignite into the Ornn here, so looking for those kill angles, looking for those early leads, forcing him out here. I love how Fisher College is like top side essentially, is playing super, super aggressive, playing for lane leads. On the bottom side, they're just trying to survive, right? They're trying to get as much farm as they can, as many stacks, and just not lose too many plates to Regular Moo and Wigglytuff. And unfortunately, we do have a pause here.
You know what? Sometimes we just gotta make sure everything is set. We appreciate all the players and their understanding and their, patience as we take a little bit of time. So while we get here, with the lane setup, now that you see the Ignite, does that change the Ornn matchup at all? For the Ornn side, do we see anything very specifically change? As that was the quickest pause I've ever had. I appreciate that.
Yeah, right back into the game. Yeah, I mean, this Ornn just has to be more careful, right? Like, he can't take those all-in trades, can't really look for some of these crazy kill angles because there's just better kill threat from this Riven, right? The Ignite is super deadly here. As we do get a bit of a pause, this is just normal, unfortunately, after we get a pause in game. It looks like Snurb is looking for an invade here. Zinzao, White Knight specifically, not expecting it. A full red clear into walking into enemy side red. Very, very bold, and just banking on the fact that White Knight's going to do his Raptors first.
Oh, and now you are just caught with Rallick being able to rotate over because the bottom side was actually pushed in. They were able to burn that flash. Now a collapse in with poor Regular, but Regular was actually pinched against that Smolder. So with everything turned around, SFU are the ones that had to scatter.
And this is already looking like a tough position for SFU's bot lane. They should not be the ones getting pushed in, right? They have Karma Caitlyn. They should be the one under your turrets, pressuring as much as they can. But unfortunately, they've just taken way too much poke. Regular Moo, 3/4 of his HP pretty much gone here, and they can't exert that typical Caitlyn Nami pressure. Top lane?
A little bit dangerous. Good little tap on the HP, but no death. However, that is a very cheeky recall because you can see Yaito looking for the kill. Recall will be pulled off, though.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you're looking to do with Ignite, right? Force, awkward back timers, force them to go out of lane here. Yaito is probably going to pick up this wave and be completely fine here. Probably going to take his own back relatively soon. As Regular Moo and the rest of the gang are relatively low.
And dancing within the HP bar range, trying to play with the range itself, but getting hit with the last little snot sneeze, and the auto will finish it off. First blood over to Fisher. Very nicely done.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see from your Caitlyn Karma lane, SFU. Their whole job is to stomp the lane, is to absolutely dominate. And when you're losing lane to the scaling of Smolder and Nami, that's when it's going to look rough. This game already in dire spots for the bot lane here. A 1,000 gold lead for Fisher College, just based off mechanics as a whole, as Yaito might be in trouble. Never mind, White Knight says, you know what, I'm going back to my Gromp.
Also, might be spotted out a little bit, but there's no wards, so you're recalling very calmly. With the Ward Brush also getting hit on the top side, it's understood that White Knight is just clearing, going through the rotations once more. Good recalls out. As the minions, as you mentioned, about 1k lead above, you can see on the top side, Yayito currently has about a wave and a half in advantage. Mid lane about a wave over to Lumiere. And then in the bot side, only about 3, so not too bad overall.
Yeah, both supports taking their first roams off of the back here. Support quests are going to be a little bit delayed, though.
Uh-oh.
And wait a minute.
Ralik did not want to be here, but a perfect bubble on the edge will get them out to safety. No flash necessary, and burning flash right before Dragon is also not a good thing to have happen. Early invade some more, though. SNRB saying, I can fight for these Raptors. Smites it away. Mid lane, we're seeing in the fight as well, but a knock up onto this poor Nocturne. Trying to get the kill, and you do. No heal to come through, but it sets up your bot lane quite well. Fisher going fishing, as they've done so many times before.
Yeah, nice aggressive look onto those Raptors. You trade a 1-for-1, but I believe he was able to smite it away. So right now, has about a 2-camp lead on this Xin Zhao. That's pretty rare, by the way. You don't really see Nocturnes hard invading a Xin Zhao or having the consistency to, invade the Xin Zhao here. But their bot lane playing super pushed up. I mean, 36 to 31 CS, a 2-0 lead now for Brabro. Like, effectively, this Smolder is as strong, if not stronger, than the Caitlyn right now. So you can just go for these very, very aggressive bot lane invades.
Not just that, with the bot lane invades, it's also enabled Yayito to start scaling into one of the most annoying Sal's, which is proxy farming. You already won the top side, no worries about actually dueling against that Ornn. Try and get lane controls, start being able to rotate out in your own favor. On the bot side, though, it's yet another battle, and this time with a level 5 SNRB, you can do even more work, but the Xin Zhao from the brush is able to turn it around as Ralik lives with just 10 HP. It's turned around as Brabro says, bro, get off my support, bro. It will be White Knight who runs the wrong way, and it's a double over to Brabro. Fisher eating good in the bot lane.
Yeah, it was a interesting trap play from SFU. Unfortunately, Brabro is just too strong. That's a Sheen Smolder. Probably going to back here with the Essence Reaver, if not more components. Yeah, Caulfield Hammer, boots as well. It's tough to make plays around this bot lane, but that's the only thing SFU can do, right? Corvus doing his best, surviving in the mid lane, is going to, unfortunately, lose the CS matchup into Lumiere. And because Fisher College understands how SFU wants to play, like you can only go bot lane, all Sturb has to do is just like you said, hover around there, make sure their bot lane is okay, and now Yayito is denying even more camps. I mean, what do you do when there's an ulting Riven on top of your head?
You run. Exactly like White Knight did. Said, I ain't gonna night this out, I'm gonna run, and I'll see you next time. And for this Ornn, they're doing what they can. I give them credit. They are trying to chase. But what's an Ornn going to do against a Riven? As you said, also multiple get out of jail free cards with those dashes, with those leaps. You're not following that at all. It's such a tough position. We mentioned this in the draft. You pointed it out very neatly. SSU's composition, they had to play perfectly. They had to overwhelm. They were not able to do that at this time. 8 minutes into the game, very controlling for Fisher with grubs up.
Yeah, it looks like Snurb kind of can just pick and choose wherever he wants to go, right? Top side, he wants to take objectives. Bottom side, he can take the Dragon here. He's got his mid lane support everywhere he needs to go, right? Aurora can be there in the blink of an eye. I mean, Fisher College right now, 3,000 gold lead at the 8.5-minute mark. We talked about Fisher College having to scale, having to make sure they don't fall too far behind. Well, they've exceeded expectations, and now a bot lane kill potentially?
I like the berry usage, but it definitely felt more like clearing the wave. However, for Brabro, those two things are one in the same. With the push out on the bot side like you called, it's an easy push onto the poor support. Last auto with the Navi is good, but you flash too far. Shut down over to regular Moo. At least there is a chance for something back. Now, of course, it's Snurb who's saying, nah, you don't get that for free. Ralik able to pick it off. Dangerous dive, though, now leads to 2 dead for Fisher. It's a 2 for 2 overall.
Yeah, potentially wave denied against regular Moo. Does get that big shutdown kill like you mentioned. But that's Essence Reaver for Brabro, right? Picking up that kill onto the Karma, that final auto that was hopefully trying to get flashed away from. Unfortunately, Wigglytuff, little too late. And yeah, I mean, exactly what we saw, right? Sturb can get halfway across the map in the blink of an eye with the ultimate, gets the dive onto regular Moo, and although he's 2 and 3, right, he's coming back in as now a flash coming out from the Ornn here. Yaito putting the pressure on, Ignite up relatively soon with his ultimate. We could be looking for a dive up top lane. Again, Fisher College, for Snurb specifically, the world is his oyster. He can go anywhere he wants to on the map, and he will be stronger.
Honestly feel like you can go anywhere that you want to, but your value diminishes. Like, you're not getting as much everywhere else because your team is so far ahead, right? There is a certain point where, like, am I actually going to get a gank for taking these 30 seconds out of the lane? Like, am I actually going to get anything? Might as well just wait for my cans to come back up. Like, that is how good Fisher have played in the current state. They played all their lanes very, very well. The only thing I would say, Dragon's up. No one's taken Dragon so far. Brabro is like, I'm the only Dragon that matters, as they will solo out a 1v2. The bot lane is SFU. Black cannot contend.
Yeah, I mean, they're just taking way too much poke here in this bottom lane, unfortunately for SFU. They don't know what to do, right? It's a Essence Reaver, 5-1 Smolder. Cull is stacking as well. Ornn's got to be careful here in the top side as well as Yaito. Did end up burning that ultimate, but it's coming up so soon. That cooldown ridiculously low, especially with the CDR items that are being built. Ignite still up, and there's that dragon that you mentioned finally being taken by Fisher at the 11-minute mark. So if we are to even get into soul territory, that's at the 26-minute mark. That's 15 minutes from now.
It's a Hex tech. It's not the greatest on its own. What is it? It's a 5% attack speed, I think. 5% and then like 5 ability haste. That's like what? A2? I don't know. It's like very... I don't know. It's very low, and I'm just like, it's so boring on its own. It's one of the few dragons where I actually say it doesn't do great on its own, but it's a soul that you want. So it makes me sad, but I wish we could see more. Bot side, still a little bit of a catch. Good on the tether, and then the trap setup. Now we see the power of that Caitlyn Karma. But the mid lane, this poor Victor ain't gonna live long for the world. Good punch back that Fisher gives after SFU try to make a play.
Yeah, that's the burst we talked about, right?
Yep.
Nocturne ultimate into between both worlds, and if you're Victor, specifically Corvus, you kind of just pray, right? You throw your gravity field down, your Chaos Storm, and you're like, well, hopefully this can pick up a kill. Hopefully I can live this dive, but they can kind of rinse, repeat that as many times as they want. And when it comes to team fights, that's exactly what's going to happen to SFU, whether it's going to be the Caitlyn or the Victor, whoever they deem is going to be the higher priority. As now rolling into the 12-minute mark right now is Rowlick trying to stop backs. He might actually pay for it.
Oh, I like it. And the minions. RMC, my boy, makes an opinion. The last little auto for the minions takes it away. And Regular Moo's actually getting a lot out of this. Remember, Regular Moo actually got the shutdown earlier on Bravo, so actually got back into the game with a Hex Bolt Optics. So, Hex Optics, I'm so sorry. And that is an item that we actually see a lot of Caitlyn's go. So something interesting with Caitlyn, we've recently seen, you talked about interesting builds. Caitlyn's have opted away from auto attack patterns to more almost one-shot on the auto at the end of the day, which is why we're seeing less attack speed, but more just raw damage from them.
Yeah, Caitlyn put out a ton of burst here. Hex Optics, like you mentioned, very, very good item. Really strong one-item power spike. So the fact that, like you said, those kills were gifted back, the shutdown specifically. Bravo still has, he's still in a really good spot. 5-2. His Nocturne ultimate is going to be sent to the top side here.
And it's the first time where the Ornn is truly tested. This Blacksmith just wants to go back into their own, but you can't do much call. The Forge God is a last dying breath, and it will be a loss as Yaito takes control of the top lane.
Yeah, Ignite was thrown down. We saw the 1-2 combo. Like, eventually, Ornn should get tanky enough, but because of all the trades, because of what's been happening, and with Yaito amassing such a big lead, there actually is kill threat here. Hopefully, we will see Sturb, though, visit this bottom lane. White Knight with the Xin Zhao, clearing out Vision. Nocturne's on the top side of the map, so if they do get low enough, SFU can threaten the dive, but instead, they are just going to back away.
Okay, play it smart. They're starting to kind of respect the output in this mid-game here that a Caitlyn and a Karma can output, so good on the respect. However, as you said, it draws a lot of attention. Junglers beating on the bot side, mid lane tower will go down, so For Fisher, while they have provided the microscope on the bot side, the macro game has still been in Fisher's hands. 2 towers down, 3 grubs in their hand. Everything else on the map goes theirs.
Yeah, I mean, they've been yoinking tower plates. They've been obviously got that first tower gold here. Like SFU, unfortunately for them, the bounties have come up, right? The objective bounties here. That's kind of like the dinner bell. That's kind of like the swan song. Like, hey, you're really far behind in gold here. It's essentially a notice saying you're losing, but you're losing by quite a bit, like 4,000 or 5,000 gold. And Fisher College, just through natural mechanics and obviously just their individual piloting of lane. Like technically, the lane phase has just ended at the 15-minute mark, but they've had this gold lead, this surmounting gold lead for a bit now.
You know, I see that bounty on the global objectives very often. Not in my favor. It really doesn't feel good. Like you said, it is that dinner bell, but you're late to dinner. That's the other side of it. So rough time for SFU Black. They're going to have to be able to bounce on back, and also in the wake of Fisher, who are now pushing the envelope a little bit further. Herald will be taken down in their favor, which will mean the mid lane or bot side will also be pressured. This Herald can easily claim more of the enemy side base.
Yeah, Baron also coming up in about 5 minutes here. Herald, like you said, can be used to push potentially an inhibitor, maybe around the 18-minute mark. Dragon's up at about 10 seconds. Surely there's some priority as Nocturne's going to ult the top side here.
And it's a very nice Ion in. The paranoia brings everyone to a close. Poor Ornn cannot do much of themselves. Welcome to the party. Lanes are unlocked and damage is done. Nice side step, but hey! Flash on forward and one more Snot Blast will lead to a double kill.
And there's the Herald being popped. Pretty much 2 for 0 here. Nice usage of that ult. And they might be able to get a second charge here. 780 HP. White Knight is on the backside.
Do it. Hop in the Herald. Right now it's all about save Rallic, though. Rallic living for a moment, and you take the Herald. Oh, and smite it out! White Knight says not today. Sullies their armor with 1. They might lose their life behind, but they'll do it for a good cause.
Yeah, Riven, Yaito coming in with the TP. Ends up confirming the 1-for-1 trade. Rallic does go down. I respect the Herald play. Good smite coming out from White Knight to deny it, though. But Tier 2 tower in the top side. Tier 2 in the mid lane being pressured. More gold going to the pockets of Fisher College here. As now it is a 10,000 gold lead for Fisher at the 17-minute mark. This is rough for SFU.
Remind me never to face off whenever Fisher is live. Like, I'm good. I don't want to lane against any of them. I don't think I'd even survive the laning phase. And right now you can see it's regular mood trying their best with the traps, but there's only so much you can do. The level, the XP lead that Yaito is getting is leading to inevitable 1v1s. Another one?
Oh.
Can you
New
do
challenger
it?
approaches.
No. What's White Knight gonna do? You say a challenger, and the challenger's like trying to swing 3 levels up.
I mean, he doesn't have ult or anything, so, like, maybe there was a chance, but, yeah, I mean, there's just way too much outplay potential,
Right.
Unfortunately. Robro and the rest of Fisher College's bot lane here. Just pressuring mid, doing their job, rotating where they need to be. Baron's up in about 2 minutes. We're going to see, most likely, that taken on spawn here, pretty much. Like, they don't really have anything to fear. They have such a massive gold lead. I mean, look at Brabro just walking up into White Knight's jungle.
He wants all the farm. It's not even about the kill, it's getting the stacks at the end. Good flash over the wall. Paranoia isn't followed, but as you said, it is still that almost frustrating part as Between Worlds brings yet another over to Lumiere. Lumiere lighting up the bottom side of the battlefield. Ace in the hole, barely tickles him on the backside. Fisher rule the rift at the current moment, and we called it earlier. We said Fisher is a very stiff competition. They know how to play. They're proving it here.
Yeah, I mean, they even took the losing side or, you know, a tough bot lane matchup, ended up winning it. Like, that's just how good this team is, right? Consistent top 8 C-LOL, you know, contenders, right? Every year they compete, you've got to watch out for Fisher. They always make it competitive. It's no different here at the NECC Nationals. Land is Yayo going for a good highlight reel.
Oh, it's too easy, my man. Yaito sends him to the grave. And my gosh, a solo top laner, 3-0-4, decimating anyone in their way.
Yeah, Fisher College, you know, kind of furthering their gold lead 13,000 nearly now. Yaito coming back with less than half HP into this Ornn. Ballsy. That's all I gotta say. Knocks in his back pocket.
What you talking about? I got a buddy. I got a friend in me. That is a teammate coming in to save. Granted, Yaito's like, dude, I could have taken this all day long. I got the light steal. I got plenty of room to play with. Once again, it is Fisher clearing the entirety of the side. At this point, it feels like they can do anything to close out this game.
Yeah, they can quite literally do whatever they want here. Don't need to prioritize the Cloud Soul. Baron's coming up in 15 seconds. I should see everybody on Fisher College's side sprinting towards that Baron and going for the end game push right after.
Can I get a stack count? I'm pretty sure the Smolder is already set at the 225. Okay. So I thought it was already there. So right here, plus a couple autos on an enemy champion, or like 3 kills, and you're good, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe this Baron plus like Raptors or something like that, or these Wolves that are coming up.
Eat a chicken along the way. You're good.
And you'll be at that 225 mark, and then, I don't know, it's tough for SFU once that execute passive comes in. And like we said, right as the Baron has spawned, they are taking it down. Funnily enough, they're 3-manning Baron, so it's going to take a little bit slower, but Yaito's going to be able to pressure that bottom side on this Rivet. You're going to have to send more than Corvus there. I very much fear for this guy's life.
You know what? I don't. He's only died once. Considering the rest of the situations that have occurred and where the pressure has been, it does feel like Fisher are more than willing to just kind of stand away. I stand corrected. I stand heavily corrected as Corvus gets over underneath. Good flash away. And then the TP! 6-pack special, baby! Unfortunately, didn't go too far as it's a dive inside the base. They're looking for a lock on 3. Crescent Guard going to body block at least 2 more auto attacks, but the last stab in the dark gives the kill over to Aurora Lumiere. Once again, gathering some more as effectively Fisher have tripled the number of kills SFU Black have.
Here comes the mid lane push as well. Baron both in the bottom side and the mid lane. Inhibitors will be taken, and oh my god, regular move. That was an auto and 1 ability. You got taken down to nearly 10% of your HP. Double inhibs going down here. Fisher College probably confident enough that they can push, despite Corvus and White Knight respawning. I'm sure they feel that they're strong enough to take this fight and take the game-ending push.
I fully expect them to do so. That's a snap! Whiplash into next week, baby. A final dive in with Yaito saying, let's close it out in style. Triple on top, ace to finish, and it's Fisher to take game number 1. Quite honestly, Shivy, I think I've seen the light. I think I've seen the light of Fisher. Powerful squad coming into the side, looking like the Masters of the Rift.
Yeah, a 22-minute victory. I mean, as clean as you could expect. Yeah, he dropped a couple kills. He made a couple mistakes on some antsy dives. But realistically, Fisher played a near-perfect game. I mean, no objectives taken away from them. They got full dragons, full grubs, Herald, the Baron. I don't even think they lost a single tower as well. Nope. They pretty much won every single lane. And yeah, I mean, just really, really clean play. I mean, this is what we expect. I'm not surprised. This is what I've expected, right? Like, I'm a little mad that they even dropped 6 kills.
You know what? For a national level team, I can agree. We expect to see excellence in situations where these teams that have such a storied history moving into these tournaments, we expect the best out of them. Now, granted, they still took the victory very convincingly and very quickly, so I like the clinical work that they've thrown down. For SFU Black, it's all about trying to find a way to disrupt that clinical flow. Whether that comes in draft, whether that comes in play, it's up to them. We'll go to a very short break, give them time to converse and see if they can come up with some sort of plan. We'll see you back in just a bit with more NECC action.
Forge Trials is presented by the Army National Guard.
Welcome back, everyone. We are here with yet more League of Legends. Game number 1 went Fisher's way. A little bit of expected results. Some little slip-ups here and there, but I think they did very well. Chibi, I think this is well within the wheelhouse of what we expected, and it is up to SFU Black to kind of play up to that level.
Yeah, I mean, talk about Fisher, right? Top 8 perennial C-Law contenders, right? Every year they have a roster that is worthy of taking it all. So it's tough, right? I mean, there are the uncommon traits here for Fisher Esports. I mean, playing to the level is obviously like most important, right?
Mm-hmm.
Play like you've been here. Understand that like you are a top level team and play to that standard. I think managing ego versus your confidence. Obviously, playing to your level comes with, hey, don't get cocky. Don't try to do stuff that you've never done before, right? Don't throw leads away, stuff like that. I don't think they did that last series or last game, sorry. But there were a couple moments where they were like, oh, I could go for this aggressive trade. And they gave a ton of gold back to Caitlyn. They were fine overall, but it was okay. And then finally, obviously, like we mentioned, like playing your game, right? Playing to your level and playing to your game, two kind of different things. They sound the same, but, you know, understanding that, hey, you know, what has given us so much success in the past, not straying away from it, right? That's what I think playing your game really means, right?
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to draft these kind of compositions. We're not going to first-time champions here. We're not going to try these wacky different stuff. Like, we're going to play what's practice. Even if it is Riven, Yaito has played Riven before. Like, it's one of his best champions, right, in solo queues. So that's not even something new per se.
Yeah, and when talking about these uncommon traits, once again, these uncommon traits are brought to you by the Army National Guard. The uncommon is calling at nationalguard.com. For SFU Black, it's a little bit harsher in that standard. You're here at Nationals, you know the competition you're up against, so it's time to get a little bit even. You face off against Fisher, you saw what they did in game 1. Get even, hold that lane state a little bit better. You know what you're up against. You know you're up against these players that will rotate quickly, will rotate very cleanly. Not only that, player style, don't get sucked into, as you were saying earlier, don't get sucked into these weird matchups that maybe you're not as comfortable with, and then slow and steady. Don't get rocked by some of these moves that might be coming out of the jungle, out of that woodworks. Make sure to play your game in the style that you hope. With that being said, looking at game number 2, I'll be very curious to see what the draft is like. Very targeted from Fisher's side in the ban phase, where SFU was much more open. It was much more meta-defining in that sense.
Yeah, and for, maybe somebody that's slept for a year and a half, maybe they're just coming in watching League of Legends, the champions below me and Orbital, we are in Fearless Draft, so they are not allowed to be played again for the rest of this best of 3 series. So if we go into game 3, maybe SFU takes a game here, you'll see another 10 champions below us. Bans should stay relatively the same, though. That's kind of what happens in Fearless. Bans don't get too wacky or different until game 3 or sometimes in a best of 5 series, a game 5. So I expect the Mbessa ban, the Viego, stuff like that.
Yeah, which we actually have right now. SFU actually dropping in because they're on the red side here. Swapped up a little bit of where they're pushing everything, banning out the Mbessa early, maybe saving the Jason Nar for a little bit later, which I like. The Viego and the Vex still in that top portion as well. So for Fisher, still sticking with the status quo. I am curious if SFU are going to try and do something a little bit different, though. Hey, you leave one of those powers and maybe hope Fisher doesn't take the other. That would be the only situation where I think some of those bans do get a little bit questionable. I like how you were talking about it. It has to go later, though. This is only a BO3. We might not get to that game 3.
Yeah. Sona is going to stay banned here. No Jace, no Mbessa. A lot of top lane bans going into Fisher College here, unfortunately. Yaito. To how deadly it was on the Riven. I don't want to see what he can do on something that's way more meta of a champion. The Gnar as well. Triple top lane ban for SFU. I wonder if they're going to still go for that tank route, something like a Scion potentially early. You do leave yourself open to some crazy counter picks. Fisher College, though, I just fully expect them to take what's given to them. And in this case, they're going to take the Ori. No Nocturne combo available, but Ori is just fundamentally very strong mid laner, has been for as long as League of Legends has existed.
Yeah, it's the best all-around best of both worlds, or at least even and okay in every standard of the metric. Very, very nice. For SFU going a little bit more all in. This is the dive. This is that simplistic, as we mentioned. Get even, play your game. One of the easiest way to play your game, dive. dive, and you can never go wrong. I say that with all of my heart. Probably don't listen to me. But the J4 and the Galio being locked in, with Galio actually having some nice changes recently.
Yeah, Jarvan Galio, tried and true combo. Wouldn't be surprised if they layer that up with a Camille and go for the god composition, right? Camille Galio, Jarvan Galio just allows for that delivery system of that Galio ult here. Although we're going to see Fisher College lock in the Lee Sin, Ezreal as well. AP Ezreal, kind of good. Actually, some weird changes have gone into some of his ratios. I've seen some hybrid builds and stuff like that. I'm interested to see if Fisher College have been tapping into the dark tech here. Vayne, though, is going to be the matchup of choice. Vayne can do good in the 1v1, right? Once the ultimate comes in, final hour can definitely disrupt a lot of what Ezreal likes to do. Typically, you'll see them like arcane shift away, and they'll just be like, I'm just going to wait it out, which does kind of give you lane control, but we saw SFU try to go for some of these matchups before, and if Fisher College can, pilot Smolder like that, I can't imagine what Brabro is going to do on the Ezreal.
Ezreal is one of the best and kind of showcasing steady escapes, but the Vayne, one of the best outplays when it comes to close range, and especially if you're getting coverage like the Galio and the J4, it makes pretty good sense why you're banning things like the Bard, like this Nico that can very much catch the Vayne, who is short range, who cannot deal with the kind of that CC chain. On the flip, empowering supports not going to be allowed through. Lulu is being banned out here. I'd almost assume we are going to get another, either a dive, but the Yuumi, silly Yuumi, makes sense as well.
Yeah, no Nico, no Bard, popular bot lane pairings with the Ezreal. No Karma available because obviously it was already played here. Now you got to go, if you want to, for some of those more poke dominant lanes or something like that. Ooh. I love the early Milio here. Just kind of says, hey, if you're going to pick poke, we have shield, we have campfire, we have the ability to heal it and kind of shield some of this poke away. I do like the ability to cleanse any CC that might be coming from Fisher College's composition. The brand, though, Ezreal brand bot lane, that sounds like something I would see in my Platinum solo queue games.
Wait. What if it's Orianna support?
I don't... I would rather take Ori to Galio than Brandon to Galio. And there comes Yaido's Gangplank. Super blindable. The bank plank, right, essentially can, get as much gold as possible in the serpent coins and just absolutely go crazy, though. And that's a counter pick. The Yasuo top lane here. Love that. Has really heavy outplay potential with the wind wall. Can really destroy some of those ranged autos or the Qs specifically from the Gangplank. But also, you can outplay those barrels, right? With your attack speed, you can try to take them down before he can use them and ignite them. So all across the board, I would say, other than maybe mid lane, tons of outplay potential for SFU, which I really like, right? Skill matchup, hands check them, see what happens. I mean, Fisher College, no joke, they've definitely got the mechanics here, but you're going to have to be tested time and time again. Although this Ezreal brand bot lane, unfortunately, no Orianna support for you, Orbital.
I was so excited, but it makes more sense, as you said. The other lane for that Yasuo, though, I love what SFU had done. For SFU, I think in the top side, you had a little bit of struggles with the Ornn. Obviously, going up against Yayito, but very impressive what you can do here. As you said, outplay potential, but also synergizes. When you look at the J4 with the Galio, everything connects together. So for SFU, they did not divert. They did not focus on individuals. They're still playing their game. Diving into game number 2, Fisher versus SFU. Let's see if Fisher can take it home in 2 or if SFU will force us to a game 3.
Snurp on the Lee Sin, and already bot lane, Brabro and Rollick gaining control here. Like we said, the popular thing to do, both bot lanes run to that bottom lane, try to get control of that middle bush. Unfortunately, the ward does get taken out, and so Rollick is just in a power position.
I like it. Just go ahead and push on up, get some burn. Now Bravo is going to turn on the other side, and with some of the minion aggro changes, it forces the double heal to come out. Nice little autos, but regular Moo is only a regular cow in a situation when you're getting cooked. All the way back at level 1 is one of the most damaging situations to be in.
Yeah, I mean, I love that Brabro and Rollick use their heal and very aggressively to gain lane control. Like, there's not much you can do now if you're regular Moon Wigglytuff. There's just not enough sustain. You're not playing something like a Soraka or a Sona or something like that where you can heal back a lot of this damage. It's much more like, hey, I'm going to shield a burn, or I'm going to shield a Q here or whatever. But Cozy Campfire is just not enough, and regular Moo is just going to get pushed under the lane, forced to CS under turret.
I mean, you gambled. I use that term very loosely, but you did gamble with the Vayne. It's a very high priority, you can get high returns on it, but in the situation, until we see the J4 complete a full clear, until we see White Knight be a White Knight saving the bot side, we ain't going to see any movement, and that's why Snurb is already here to be an annoyance. This Lee Sin that we've seen and known as the bully of 1v1s with a little help from the fire burns out White Knight and is now able to force more HP out of Wigglytuff and regular Move.
Yeah, Snurb doing a red side clear into a blue side invade. That's tough. I mean, essentially did the same thing, right? Last game with the Nocturne, red side clear into running over into White Knight's red side himself. I mean, this jungler, unfortunately for SFU, not gonna have a fun time. Jungle is one of those roles where the moment someone smells a skill discrepancy or figures out they can do something and get away with it, jungler's gonna push the envelope here, and Snurb, no different, just trying to pressure out, trying to get camp leads onto White Knight, and make sure that this Jarvan just isn't allowed to do anything.
Just push them away, just deny them, and then also open up a little space on the bot side once more. We see a focus on the J4 on the top side, but it says dive on the bot side that we're watching. Quick autos and more, but you actually can't finish it off, so the dive is actually halted. Yito now getting pushed out by White Knight, but another further dive, as that's the finisher on the kill. Beautiful aggro juggling, Snub's death, and that'll be 2 for Fisher in the bot lane.
That guy lived with like less than 10 HP, single digits.
Nah,
sure.
Calculated, man, calculated.
Very much here. Beautiful dive coming out from Fisher College. And one more auto, one more caster, minion auto, or something goes their way, and SFU are maybe looking at a small lead for themselves. I mean, Orbital, I don't want to draw too much attention to it, but can you peep Brabro's CS for regular Moose?
I don't want to. I want to focus on White Knight, but I gotta agree. Like, that is...
Yeah. Tough.
That's tough. So, for the side of SFU, you are looking on the top side. White Knight has really taken it upon themselves to focus on the top side of the map, which I actually really appreciate. The problem being, Corvus hasn't been having the best time either. In this mid lane, you are going to get bullied out until you have jungle intervention. But I will give it credit, on the top side, Yasuo able to pick up a kill or assist for themselves with White Knight getting the majority share.
Yeah, went straight for that top side. Essentially what happened was, while the dive was happening from Snurb and the gang, White Knight had traveled all the way to the blue side jungle, picked up Grom, and picked up Yaito in the process. I think he was face-checking, potentially for his jungler there. So, obviously, 2-1 right now, but it's a 1.5k gold lead for Fisher College 5 minutes into the game, and we saw what Fisher was able to do. They kept growing it and growing it and growing it, just based off pure laning and mechanics.
I mean, they've done this before, and it goes back to what I said. It's kind of clinical. When you've done this so many times, you know how to bully us. We're just not giving the top lane its due rewards. That's now twice that we just don't want to show you the action going down up there. But that is a beautiful one, even forcing a flash, as Snurb is still just bullying the spot lane.
Oh, he's bullying this jungle as well. He's essentially staked his claim here, just put down his house, set up shop, and essentially said, this blue side jungle of SFU is going to be mine. And they can play this split jungle game, but it's going to be rough, right? Vertical jungling favors Fisher College here, especially with how Rollick and Brabro have been playing. They've just been destroying in the CS department.
It's only going to get worse. Like, you look at the champions on the other side, they are farm-based champions, man. I mean, Orianna, Ezreal, Gangplank, these are all champions that will consistently clear wave very, very cleanly. They'll never have struggles. So for Fisher, they have that unlocked. The only question is, will it still take him 11 minutes to take Dragon? I only say that because he's bypassing it. But do we expect them to also have that same level of macro aggression with the current lane leads that they have?
Looks like Snurb is going to look for something here. He's going back into his jungle, maybe clear his top side. His White Knight scrapping up as many camps as possible here. Regular Moo, though. A bit of a life lead, but looking at the summoners, Brabro has Barrier, Rollick has Heal. On the other side, Wigglytuff, the only one with a semi-combative summoner spell, as Ghost and Flash have been taken for regular Moo, as Yaito 45 to 48 CS and counting. I mean, the big lead, right? Obviously in that bottom lane, a doubling of gold here, 17 to almost 3,400 here for the Ezreal right now. I mean, expected from Bravo and Rollick having such a dominant performance here, and a 500 gold lead for the mid lane so far. Nothing to scoff at, but definitely Lumiere looking to push that further and further, as White Knight is here.
I like that flash, but it deserves a flash in return. And Lumiere, first recipient, it feels like, of White Knight in the Summoner Spell trade. On the top side, we get a Cannon Barrage. And for the Yasuo, this is what you get for not turning off streamer mode. You always got to show us your lovely name, as that will be a quick kill. Snurb finishes it off on the flip.
Kind of wondering where the wind wall was for the Lee Sin Q. Like, usually you can just block that because it is a projectile. Unfortunately, maybe it was down, maybe it was used, and most Yasuos aren't maxing wind wall second, so that level 1 cooldown is tough.
Right now in the mid lane, Corvus now getting a treatment. Shockwave draws you back. Good guy. Minion lost Sonic Wave, but it's still a flash out of this Galio. At the current moment, SFU Black bleeding out summoner spells and gold as Fisher continue to route them in almost every way. In the mid lane, though, another jump in. Lumiere out of mana, so playing relatively safe.
Look at the pressure. Mid lane here, bottom lane, Bravo and Rollick comfortably sitting as Snurb once again gonna prioritize the grubs here. Like you said, was just passing that dragon, didn't really care. Probably will pick it up on his way into this bot side as Brabro has spotted out White Knight. Ghost has been used.
And very heavy on the final hour as well. You are just chasing as best you can, but a nice EQ combo will stun this poor Vayne into oblivion, at least for the current moment. So for SFU Black, they haven't lost hope. We are seeing very good attempts at these games.
Yeah, they're trying to do something here. Jarvan has Cataclysm right now, so White Knight maybe looking to revisit Lumiere in that mid lane. That's what I would do, especially because we were able to burn Flash so early. Lumiere, obviously a very good player, probably understands that they are the play, right? They would be the one under pressure after this reset, after this recall. So we actually see if White Knight and Corvus have enough damage. If Snurb ends up showing up or sniffs out this mid lane play potentially from these two, like the 2v2 is winning for Orianna Lee Sin.
Yep. It is a nice spot to be in, but for the moment, we want to see more than just winning. We want to see domination. We mentioned before, for Fisher, we want to see them play to their level. We know these guys can play at such a high, accelerated pace. We want to see that come through. And we want to see them teeter on the edge of egotistical while being overly confident. Like, there is a very fine line that you can ride that also sends a level in for the rest. However, on the bot side, we are getting Galio ultimate. Full utility dump coming in here, and it still wasn't enough. Brutal damage back by Fisher. It will be a trade of 1-for-1. But the Galio can't do too much. Corvus hunting for Rollick. Rollick running out the winds of war. And Bravo on a killing spree keeps Fisher up, even when they're on the run.
Really nice play. Really nice turn from Snurb and Fisher College there. I mean, 3-0-2 on the Ezreal. Eclipse completed for the Lee Sin. Free turret plates right now. I mean, the play that they tried to make, yeah, as if you did get something. Vayne did pick up a kill there, but ultimately falling flat for SFU. I mean, Snurb is just doing a really good job being in the right place at the right time, although Yaito might be in the wrong place. This White Knight is here.
White Knight has punished this top lane quite a few times. They haven't really snowballed it into a full-blown lead, but it's a great start. Quick last breath, snapping out Yaito's HP bar, but what a hold on the flash itself. Yaito keeping their life up.
Could he have flashed earlier to save his HP so he could stay in lane? Maybe.
Yeah.
Potentially. But I think he wanted to just see how much he could eke out value-wise, right? Maybe move, maybe dodge out on the EQ, maybe, you know, Yasuo ends up going for a tornado that he can dodge out. A lot of outplay potential with Gangplank here, so I don't hate that. I mean, he's just going to TP, or he's just going to walk back to lane here. And now with that play, with White Knight showing on the top side, bottom lane, unfortunately, for SFU is going to get forced off, as unfortunately this is not your jungle.
It really isn't. But it might be yours if you continue to try and apply this pressure. For Serve, though, clears out yet again. This bot side of the map, Fisher have been playing a 3-force jungle all game long. And is now going to bully White Knight again! Flag and drag! True shot barrage clips! Final Sonic Wave will go just on the wayside before White Knight, dude. Like, this isn't just bullying. This is just locking you out of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough for White Knight. I mean, even if the kill doesn't come through, you've effectively taken them down. Regular move is under some pressure. Sonic Wave plus the Orianna Shockwave. Unfortunately, misses here. Wiggly Tough.
Oh.
He's going down.
Yep. And also, on the other side, quick burn of the body. This poor Vayne underneath the tower. Will be another log. Fight number 3, though. I don't know if SFU Black actually wanted this, as it's a double handed yet again to the hands of Bravo.
5-0-3 on this Ezreal. Triforce, Monomune, going to be complete very, very soon. Ludens as well, coming out from Lumiere, just going for the burst, right? I mean, I kind of mess with the combo. Cuttit's out there trying to do, right? Nocturne Ori not available, so we've got Nocturne Ori at home. It's Lee Sin Q into the team and pray that you can land it. I think they'll land it, though. They tried it once. It didn't work, but I think enough times, like, if Sturb finds a massive Sonic Wave into SFU, there's a world where Lumiere can follow up with that Shockwave. I like this combo. It's very, very, very skill-intensive, though.
Wasn't that, like, the old-school combo with Lisa and Orianna? Like, that's the original ball delivery system, right?
Well, it's one of, right? You got the Malphite Ori, and fortunately, Corvus does get forced out. Luckily, doesn't eat that True Shot Barrage, is able to live, but mid lane once again under...
Uh-oh. Snipe it, baby! There ain't no way you're out of there. Yasuo down once more. And in the mid lane, it's Bravo, testing the limits of this turret range.
Bye-bye.
A stun at the end as Rollick picks up a kill for themselves. Fisher accelerating the pace of this mid-game, starting to take over on the tower count.
Fisher playing pretty much almost nearly flawless game. One grub did go over to SFU, but I think that was intentional from Fisher, as they've now amounted a 11,000 gold lead at 14 minutes. I mean, this is just even more of a dominant performance from Fisher College here. SFU, unfortunately, under fire. 2 kills to their name. They do have scaling with the Vayne and the Yasuo. I don't know if Fisher College is going to allow them to get there. Nice Cataclysm.
I mean, they've done this before. They've tried, but will it yield results? A little bit split on where they decide to go. Taunt comes out, only catch one. Cannon Barrage locks on the other side. Shockwave on one as a split fight. Snurb checks for the ADC. The rest of SFU hightailing it back to the fountain one way or another. Fisher, so dang good.
Yeah, pretty much near complete wipe for Fisher College here. Also, though, trying to get something done, showing his face here with the Galio. I mean, the dream scenario for SFU is to get the Cataclysm into the Galio ult knockup, and then Yasuo comes in, is able to ult off of that knockup, but they just haven't been able to find that play. I mean, also White Knight, as soon as he put the Cataclysm up, immediately dissolved it, which, I mean, at that point, if you're Jarvan here, you just have to give your life for the cause. Your life, unfortunately, is not important in this game. Like, you just have to hope that your Vayne or your Galio or your Yasuo can come in and clean up the rest of the pieces. You are cannon fodder. Your job is to set up your team for success and pray that they can get some of these bounties for themselves.
Yeah, you're the body that breaks the water to make sure the dive goes through. Like, you are the one that is creating an opportunity, whether you like it or not. It's gonna hurt. I'm not gonna deny crashing into water from like 60 feet up where you're currently at it's not gonna be easy. But if we want to see SFU Black give themselves a chance, I 100% agree. It will be harder against the Herald, but for SFU, they have the Wombo. They've done the combo maybe once, maybe not fully, but they'll still try it. 16 minutes into this game, Fisher now looking to break the base.
4 minutes until this Baron Dragon is up. It is Cloud Dragon this time around, so we're guaranteed one of Infernal, Hextech, maybe even Mountain Soul here. Bottom lane tier 2 going in the favor. I mean, Shelly is in Snurb's pocket, and he wants to get rid of that ASAP. As a Lee Sin, you do not want to have Herald on you. Feels really limiting. It feels like you're missing one of your abilities if you can't ward up here. I'm sure they're going to use it to break this mid lane turret. They might go for the end here. They feel so strong. I mean, they're 15k gold ahead.
It's doable. They also have a one-more combo on their side, so if too many members of SFU Black step into the wrong circle, you are dead. Quick break at the plate, that's number 1. Number 3 will go down here, and number 4 follows as well. It will be the break as Fisher look at the inhib.
Up in the Herald, guys.
Yep, it's scary. 1 would be it. Smite would take it out, but it's the inhibitor that they want. They'll stick around. 5 up, Corvus off on the wings, getting burned out thanks to that, thanks to the brand. But where are they going to go? Are they going to keep pushing?
Herald has been taken down.
Oh, last breath. Great catch. I was expecting a shockwave, only turns on 1. So for this time, even though Fisher took everything on the map, they might be forced out of the base, but they will try and chance a regular move. Wrong side of the map. Where you go and down you go. Lumiere gets revenge for their jungler.
1-for-1 trade. I mean, that's the best look that SFU could get there. I did like that combo, like you mentioned. The Jarvan knockup into the Yasuo ult. I mean, they got it on the Snurb. It's going to prevent Baron being taken for a little bit. Brabro feeling confident on this Ezreal. Rollick, a 1v1 on the Yasuo?
I love this. Can you pull it off? Over the wall, nice arcane shift, no follow-up. But that was Rollick only. Being able to force away the top laner, that is rough if you're on SFU Black's side.
Middle inhibitor has been taken down. 2 minutes till this Baron. I mean, Dragon is pretty much the only real objective on the board for Fisher College. They can look to pressure these tier 2s in the top side, potentially look to pressure tier 3 in the bottom lane here. But yeah, I mean, pick up the floating objective to say, hey, it's going to be mine here. I've been looking across the board for Fisher College. 2.5 item power spikes for most of these guys. Brabro cresting upon his 3rd. While unfortunately for SFU, they're barely on 1.5. I mean, Galio is sitting on a bargain bin of items.
I do love the fact for Fisher, they are rotating to the top side of the map. SFU are trying to run interference, but catch aside, the jungle forces a play on the other side. Last breath catches 1, but the knockback forces you further away. Lumiere is saved thanks to regular move. Another death follows as White Knight is dismounted.
Rollick.
And you are not allowed to defend this base. Fisher will run SFU back to the fountain one way or another. Quick shot with the pistol. Couple more silvers in Yayito's bank.
Yeah, I mean, he's been farming excellently here. He's got a ton of damage right now. 2 items on this GP, 20 minutes, not even 20 minutes into the game here. And maybe Fisher College can beat their game 1 record. 22 minutes was game 1 ending, and now they're pushing on to the Nexus turrets.
Only 4. They will do so. Tower 1 falls. Another falls in another respect.
Snurb's here.
1 more Nexus tower to go. And I really don't feel SFU Black have a good response. Give it the old college try. Come on. You know you want to do it. Corvus running on the side. Flanked by the Cannon Barrage. There's not many options left.
Oh.
Shockwave forces a play out of you. It is check and mate for game number 2, and Fisher start these nationals off with a bang and a half. 2-0 over Simon Fraser University Black.
Dominant performance from Fisher College here. I mean, beautiful play from Brabro and just the whole team, right? I mean, they played even better than game 1. I brought the belt out. Maybe Fisher's head coach brought the belt out. They said, hey, why did you give 6 kills over? That's not okay. Next time, give half of that. And I think they did, right? 3 kills was the max that amount of SFU getting here. Fisher College doing a very good job. Like you said, starting off strong. That's exactly what we expect from a team of this caliber, of this level. And we're hoping to see them carry it throughout the whole Nationals week.
Yeah, SFU Black, they tried. We give them a lot of credit. Ran up against a very stiff opponent for your first round matchup. It is tough. And for some teams, you hope to bounce back. For others, you just say, what can you do at the end? You try a different day. I want to ask, though, if we do see SFU fight again, what would you give to this team to say, a little bit of encouraging, what would you hope to tell them?
I mean, try to learn what you can, right? It's tough in games like this where you kind of get stomped out, you know, have a 15,000 goal lead and stuff like that. But you can at least take away laning phase specifically, right? What did we do wrong? We thought we had the winning matchups. I mean, most people in their head are going to look at that Caitlyn Karma versus Smolder Nami lane and say, hey, the Caitlyn Karma should be the ones, you know, dominating the lane, trading efficiently. So they can look at that laning phase and say, well, what did we do wrong? Did we take too much poke? Did I step up when I shouldn't have? Was I prioritizing CS over poke? All these kinds of different things. You can at least in a vacuum learn what you're doing wrong, at least in those laning phases. Because post laning phase, unfortunately, the macro play, you're forced into very, very like not valuable decisions, right? You've got to give up waves here, you've got to make plays here, and like that's valuable to a sense of like learning how to play from behind. But if you can like, you know, step up your laning phase, like you said, come away even. We talked about those uncommon traits. Coming away even against Fisher is already a big win for SFU Black, especially out of that laning phase post 15 minutes.
And for the other teams here, it's something to look forward to. You have now seen a taste of what Fisher can throw down, and you better be prepared. That also goes for every single competition here on the day. I mean, we got to talk about this. It might be the end of just day number 1. We got day 2, 3, and 4. We got crowns to pass on out. We have so many different titles here, Shibi. I got to ask you, which one are you most excited for?
I think you know the answer to that question.
I do, but I want to hear it.
I think you know. I mean, obviously excited to catch some Marvel Rivals with Vaudeville there. I mean, I've been covering the whole season here, talking about everybody else. So it's been super fun. I obviously have a lot of love for League. And who knows, maybe I'll be covering some titles I haven't covered in a while there. So obviously super, super excited to see everybody compete. Smash is super exciting here.
Yep.
Always the energy is electric for the Smash scene and the Smash players. And I think we have a lot of good colleges coming in here, as well as I believe we have Apex Legends, right?
Yeah.
That's a super fun one as well. I mean, as the ring closes, as the teams kind of condense, you start getting down to the final circle. That's where like peak tension is in my mind when it comes to esports.
Not just in the game, but also for the end of the seasons. If you are interested in coming on out, finding all the teams here, please go ahead and check it out. It's the Bowling Center here at Techport, I believe, showing off all the stadium. You see it behind us.
Yeah.
This entire venue will be filled up a little bit later, but not today. What does that mean? It means you need to check out these socials. Keep eyes on the NECC socials. We'll be posting which games are coming up, when they will be shown, where they'll be shown, whether it's our faces or a few other names that you might know along the lines. Of course, from the offsite, I believe we're looking at about 9 a.m. or so. But if you don't want to wait the time, please go ahead and show up at the venue, get a badge, come on in, interact with the teams yourself, and maybe even some of your cast or friends on the mic. Again, my name is Orbital. With me has been Shibi for day number 1 of League of Legends side. We'll see you all tomorrow.
You'll still have common days. Get caught in traffic during your commute. Overthink a text message. Get a song stuck in your head. This is not one of those days. A few weeks a year and you'll discover the most uncommon time of your life.
Performance sets the limit. Stability determines the journey. This is ROG, engineered for gamers. A true ROG design. Every core component is focused on real performance. Pure ROG DNA, aura that fuels fearless souls. Built to be pushed, cooled to endure. Air moves with purpose, heat exits with precision.